You ain't heard about this?
Nah, I've been watching some other shit, man.
But that person who did those things, that's still me.
Hey,
Now
stop
that's
it.
who I fight. Every hour, every day. I don't always win.
How much would you risk?
Oh, that's a great show, by the way.
How hard would you fight? How many lives would you give? Just to discover what you're capable of.
Shit looks intense.
It's a bunch of shorts from video games, basically.
Oh no, Love, Death Plus Robots is a Netflix series, isn't it?
This isn't it though, but I think it's the people, like some
Every
folks
cause.
worked on that.
Oh, okay.
It's just a
Every
bunch of
effect.
shorts from our favorite games.
Does it say Unreal Tournament? Or is that
Yo, bro, we got a Mega Man one, Concord, Seafood. Okay, yeah, bro, I can't wait for this shit. This shit's gonna be tight.
they need to make a new Unreal Tournament video game. They need
Who
to-
knows, bro?
What I made you
Who
for.
knows?
That
They might be working on it.
This is what you want.
was my first like real game.
Conquest awaits.
That Seafood one's gonna be awesome.
I can hold it back on my own.
Push it out on your own.
Yeah, baby.
It's gonna be a bunch of emotional, touching videos. You're gonna be tugging at your heartstrings, CME.
You already know. You know me.
All those moments.
I cried on the Warhammer episode.
And even all those painful deaths. It's a new adventure.
Some of that animation and graphics are crazy good.
Just for you.
The Mega Man one is gonna be cold. Ooh, that shit,
Is that the
baby.
Mega Man?
Yeah. They got a Pac-Man one too. I want to see what that one gonna
What are
be
you gonna do
about.
about Pac-Man?
I want to see what that shit.
Pac-Man,
Well, that
yeah.
shit. Oh, let's see what the fuck they finna do with that shit, right?
That's funny.
Hey, they go to us. That's us right there.
Right there in the corner.
Hey, look at us go.
I'm
Doing
just saying,
shit.
bro. We on kick as well, so you know,
Olivia.
it's what we do. It's what we do, man. So tighten up, sit up straight, and
Straight.
you know, put your best face in or whatever. Just let's get to the videos, man.
I'll be leaning back a little bit.
Yeah, I know, bro. Let's watch some folks embarrass themselves or get embarrassed.
Yeah.
I've been waiting
Yeah.
to see this one, honestly.
Me too. Me too. Chisel put out. I'm curious when we got another booty warrior.
This
I don't know
is
how
Midnight Boy. This is Midnight's homie, bro.
Oh, this is Midnight's homie.
Yeah,
This
it's
is your
Midnight
homie?
If you
homie.
don't mind, can I play with them draws tonight?
Oh God.
Yeah, can I play with your draws tonight, baby?
Oh no.
Baby.
Is that my boy?
Oh no.
Uncle is.
Oh no.
Whose
You ain't
uncle is
never had a
this?
man to lay there and play with your booty?
Oh no.
Huh?
Oh no.
You ain't had a man to lay there and... I mean, come on now.
Listen, I don't care what anybody says. You
Unc, what are you
you,
on?
you cannot say
You
that.
thinking he on
You
WhatsApp
can't-
video or one of his
chill.
harlots he piped after Vietnam in
Hey,
75? Sir,
You look kind of like your boy though.
No,
man.
no,
You hear
Midnight,
chirping
get your
in the
own.
background?
Get your
Go
own,
change
bro.
the batteries
Nah,
on your
wrong person.
goddamn smoke alarm, sir.
Oh, yeah, I want to play with
You
your
wanna
booty.
play with your booty?
He's from Louisiana. He's from Louisiana, so for
I'm
real.
trying to...
Nah, what you think?
That act
I got some potato chips.
Oh,
I'm going to put
Yep. What he said?
Right
Potato
by your
chips and shit.
right by you.
Whoa, that makes me
I'm going to
uncomfortable.
sneeze on your
I'ma sneeze. Oh Lord. Oh, y'all heard that right? Y'all heard that right?
This nigga snapped, bro.
Yeah,
No,
the
no,
fire
no.
alarm.
This
The
man-
fire alarm.
alarm.
Smoke alarm in the
Potato
background.
chips,
Chirping. Yeah, I heard that
sneezing
bitch.
on butts.
I heard that
What's
chirp.
going on? Then to make matters worse,
That wasn't your house,
Like a
Jimmy, right? That was in the
final
video. That wasn't your
form
crib.
that never
That's
made it
not-
in the WWE.
That's why-
Quick Senior, sir. Get off the
This.
internet. What are you talking about? We can see you.
Nah,
Nigga, did you know that I
exactly.
can see you? I'm gonna put some hot sauce on your ass. I'm telling you. You
Damn.
think I'm gonna tear it up? That hot sauce is going on your ass.
Yeah, bro, that's gonna
Nasty
hurt.
bitch. Stinking back.
$50 says that's at least worked one time.
At least once. At least
Oh,
once.
yeah.
At least
At least
The
once.
damn
Oh, yeah.
and lick the doggone gluteal flap. That's some
Satanic black magic.
Oh, man.
unk. Just get on the
Black
internet
magic, bro.
unprovoked. In the entire group.
Unc gotta chill, bro. Unc gotta
I'm trying to sing them.
Analingus. Then to
He-
make
he
matters
trying to
worse,
summon
you
some
bring
demons,
in
for real.
condiments.
Unc,
You putting
man,
ketchup,
someone needs to talk to
mustard,
Unc.
hot
Someone needs to
sauce
go
on some
take his
ass
phone away.
alongside potato
Talk to
chips
him
so
for a
you
little
can
bit.
sneeze. What happens if
take it
Shorty
away,
came back from
period,
Taco
yeah.
Bell, Chipotle with some
He
Unlimited
did.
diarrhea. Unlimited.
Well, that's all you gotta do is shake that ass in my face. Yeah.
Oh Lord, this
You
man's
want to
making
shake
me
that booty in my
uncomfortable.
face, Cardi B. I got
I
some
I think it would be less uncomfortable if he said
booty
ass.
in my face.
They keep saying booty in such
It's
a
a one-off situation.
creepy,
Like
man.
you just
Yeah, bro.
posted
That's all I
one
gotta get,
video
buddy.
or maybe two. Okay, this man every
Every
single
day.
multiple
Oh, no.
times per day on his
Oh, no.
Instagram.
Damn, bro.
He just out there.
Same
You gotta let him
thumbnail.
know. You gotta let him know.
Hey.
Black and Coliseum. Yeah, come to the
Black and Coliseum.
So I can dig in you.
That's what you call your room, isn't it, Jimmy?
Oh,
Yeah, come to the Black and
I'm
Coliseum.
gonna take that. Yeah, I'm gonna take
So I can
that.
see you
I'm
drunk.
definitely gonna take that.
Yeah.
Man's is absolutely unhinged, and I discovered him by accident. I just so happen to have open Instagram, scrolling on
I don't know
Reels,
how you
doom
found this dude,
scroll
Chill.
at like 11 before you get ready to go to sleep. Then all of a sudden I see this video, I go to man's profile, and I promise you, you can click on any video. This man
Oh, no.
is unhinged.
Oh, no.
Watch your jaws there, Cardi B. Yeah, watch them jaws you wearing, girl. I'm gonna take them
No.
jaws, yeah.
Oh hell no. Click like I
Any
just went there.
video.
I
Chirp,
wanna
chirp.
eat-
Somebody in the comments. Somebody in the comments. Change that
You know
battery.
what I want?
Change the battery.
Oh, yeah.
Every video, bro.
That's all you gotta do.
In every comment section, there's a
Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B.
Oh no, man, you ain't at work.
Carrie.
Oh, they
Bro.
gonna work, bro. They
Just gotta
Please,
put
somebody
your
watch
ass
Cardi.
in my face,
just
and guess what? The tongue going in your ass.
Megan
Oh
Thee Stallion,
Lord.
Cardi B,
Please, somebody
Lord.
protect them.
Mariah Carey, y'all have been put on
he
notice.
said just put it in your,
Is
put it in
coming
my
for you.
face.
But I thought it was just celebrities.
No tongue going today.
That woman with that green Jeep, she don't think I want to touch them drawers in the front?
Oh, what
Yeah, she
the
got that green Jeep. I'm going to touch her drawers in the front.
Sir,
fuck?
sir, you terrorizing the neighborhood. What your neighbor did to have you go out there? This man is tripping, bro.
You know I'm a degenerate.
Any
Now,
video.
I ain't going to lie, though. When I seen Mariah Carey,
Oh my god.
my
bro.
baby girl, ooh, she's so sweet.
Oh no.
I ain't lying.
I ain't gonna
I
lie.
seen her on
You ain't lying.
I bet you did see her on
Yeah.
TV.
Mariah, give me a chance. I want her in the closet. Oh, yeah.
Is this camera on me?
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you now. It's dark in that closet. Oh, my God. Mariah, you gonna want to come out that closet. Yeah, baby.
What?
I'll tell you what. Number one.
Oh my god.
They gonna fire
Closet with me. And I must let you see it for yourself when I'm a dig in you like a pit bull.
I don't even know if that's PG.
Now listen to me, all right? I like
It's
the
not-
ball,
it's not
the
PG.
bikini your ass. Yeah, girl.
Hell.
I'm starting to believe this
Mans
is
might
my
be the
aunt.
booty warrior who never got apprehended.
Oh, my
Every
God.
single morning, he wake up,
He
grab
wake
his
up
phone,
ready.
head to
something
Instagram,
by that.
and hunt
Bad eye.
You don't even get
Oh,
paid
man.
for it. He just loves it.
He just
for
do it for the
game.
love of the
He do it
sport,
for the
bro.
love of the
For the
game,
love of the
baby.
game,
For the
bro.
love of the game, man. The love of the
Do it
booty.
for the love of the booty.
Yeah.
Got that white car?
That white car?
I ain't gonna lie, I like the drawers she wearing. Them drawers, fine.
There's no way. In fact, I have a theory.
Sir.
I think maybe when he opens up his phone and he goes on Reels, as he's watching, he may think he's remixing
Let me
or
text
maybe
Midnight real
sequencing,
quick.
or perhaps he happens to click
Alright, let him-
the
give
camera
him a
button and
shout.
thinks he's sending a personal video or something. Because I can't wrap my mind
Dude,
around
this guy is
how
ridiculous,
every
man.
single day you upload these videos as if you're talking to somebody.
He is. He's talking to somebody.
Hey, my big
He's talking to a lot of somebody.
How you doing, baby? Good.
Anybody who's willing to listen.
Unfortunately, that's a lot.
The red one. Cut.
What do you do?
Nah. Tell me I did not just see that.
The, like the black one, the red one. Cut.
Oh, his teeth just came.
His teeth came.
His teeth, yeah.
Wait, did it? What? What I miss?
Oh, you know. Oh, my bad.
His teeth,
Yeah.
his teeth fell out.
I was just
Everybody
texting you, let you know, bro, that we was live.
Oh, you good?
I didn't know. I ain't know, bro. I ain't know you was here, bro. My
That's why I'm
bad.
here.
I ain't know you was here, bro. My bad. I ain't even know we started.
But I understand.
Hey, I appreciate you watching the entire video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button
Hey,
and the
bro,
like
that-
button on
I ain't
the way
gonna lie,
out if you
man.
haven't already.
I
I
kinda
just
fuck with
finished
Uncle a
taking a
little bit.
shower, and I need another one.
That dude is unhinged.
I kind of fuck with Unc.
What?
Yeah, I kind of
I
fuck with
told
Unc.
you he was. I told you.
Yeah, I
was
guess he
your-
might be my foe. He might be some of my
I told
foes.
you.
He
Trying
might be.
to put that on midnight.
I know. My bad. I apologize, Midnight.
I got it, man. I got it. I'd do the same.
Oh, that guy's got so many problems.
We out here though, man. He might get a Make-A-Wish. Who knows?
You know what we should watch? We should watch something uplifting. Y'all want to watch something funny as fuck?
What we got?
You should put the Scott Sterling video.
I don't know what that is, but
What?
I'm willing to find out.
Yeah, me either.
What? Oh, I'm so glad I got to... Okay, Scott Sterling. Yeah. All right. The one that says Top Soccer, yeah, Studio C in the blue. That shit is honey.
Which one?
Yeah, the one in blue. Yeah, that
first
one right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our coverage of the game of the year between Yale and North Carolina.
If you're just joining us, we have witnessed an
forgot.
unbelievably well-fought
Midnight,
match
you watch
tonight.
football?
And it's come down to penalty kicks.
Just watch.
Peterson for Yale, taking the first approach.
Spectacular! North Carolina's goalkeeper Richards just let one in
Okay,
past
no,
him now. So now
okay.
the burden rests on Yale's Scott Sterling.
Here he comes, nerves of steel, that man, dealing with more pressure now than a submarine.
Indeed.
Home crowd showing some appreciation.
I don't like the way it smells.
Johnson places the ball on the spot, getting ready. That man
I like the
literally
way it
has a cannon
smells.
for a leg.
Yes, he does.
Here he goes, winding up for the
Of
shot.
his face.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Sterling
Good
directly
shit.
to the face.
Yeah,
He
I've seen
clocked that
this.
at a
This
stunning
one.
116 kilometers per hour.
Now that's a lot of miles per hour.
Little chance that man's nose is not broken right now.
Oh, indeed. Now Sterling getting checked out for that one. Spectacular save, though, but sadly, he's not out of the woods yet.
On his feet now, a bit
Scotty.
shaken.
But not stirred.
This crowd absolutely loves this man.
And Sterling's teammates welcome him back a hero for now.
He yells up again for the second attempt, looking to make it 2-0.
He approaches the ball with some determination. Here he goes.
Oh,
Oh!
it's high and wide, way off target.
Yes, apparently he thought he was
suck.
kicking a field goal.
Come on, bro. Lock it in.
Kind of football, I'd say.
Good show.
Back now to Scott Sterling. He looks a bit
Scotty.
worse for wear, but ready for round
Scotty,
two.
And
no.
Shaw takes a moment.
Oh,
Here
yeah.
he goes
Oh, yeah.
with the approach.
Oh! Sterling with a fantastic dive. The ball flies
He got
straight
it.
through his hands and once
He
again
got it.
strikes him
He got it.
straight in the schnoz.
And let's see it again on the old instant replay.
that
Oh,
hurts
every
so
excruciating detail captured in HD perfection.
Clocked at 129 kilometers per hour.
I'm good.
Sterling does not look
Yeah, you're all right. Yeah,
Two
you're good.
wonderful
You're fine,
saves
bro.
and two
Brush the fuck off.
He may replace him at this point. He's done all he can.
Yes, as his trainer takes
on.
him off the field like a
Come on.
mustached lion dragging a gazelle through the Serengeti.
Scott Sterling.
Adieu.
Yale now with their
I would love
third
to see an
PK.
actual mustache.
Richards
line.
is in the goal,
Now that he
bouncing
said
like
that.
an infant girl.
The crowd holds their breath as he goes in. Here it comes. Oh, very anticlimactic.
Let's see who they got to replace Scott Sterling.
Scotty's still in. He's still in.
Taking a very odd tactic now.
Curling up to protect his face.
Not exactly
Yeah, bro.
recommended
He's not.
technique, but here it goes. Wait, no. Lampert needs to tie his shoe.
Yeah, that's how his shoe goes.
And
Oh,
that's why
there you
you
go.
do a double knot, kids.
Sterling still waiting for the kick to happen.
Scotty.
He's probably wondering when. Oh! Sweet buttered crumpets! More! The ball drills Sterling right in the
Sweet
face.
buttered
That must
crumpets.
be absolutely devastated. He's gonna look like a witch that flew her broom into her nose and then
Lockdown
crashed into
defender
her
over
hand.
there.
Hardly even care about this attempt. Let's go back to Scott
Sterling,
The man.
I'm good. I'm good, coach. I'm good.
Absolutely incredible. Though I must say, Sterling does not look well at all.
Well, you know football players like to add a bit of drama, don't they?
They're gonna take him out. No, wait! They brought him a chair.
Oh, a bold move by the manager. Bain sets up for the fourth attempt.
This, frankly, is a gimme. He literally just has to kick it anywhere except where Sterling is sitting.
There is no possible way that North Carolina can mess up this shot. 158 kilometers per hour.
This man can do no wrong.
Look at him bend.
He's like, no.
That should be begging for him.
He has looked death in the eye and said, "Take your best shot."
man.
To which Death replies by punching him in the face over and over and
Broken
over again.
nose.
If Yale makes his
Scotty
final
is a
shot,
brick
it's all
wall
over.
out there,
but no!
man.
Oh, he misses, which
He's got the
means
whole
we're going to
goal
Scott
on lock.
Sterling!
His face is like
Got
A
it.
brick wall that can feel pain
A
and cries
brick
a lot.
wall.
Where's Sterling?
Where?
Oh, he seems to be crawling away from the goal. What is he doing?
He's throwing away the bat.
All right, okay,
Just right. What incredible instincts to crawl away from the goal like that.
They trust the field. It feels a lark as they
How do I get a
slide in.
Scott Sterling
A
jersey?
Panini sculpture.
Right?
You gotta make that one.
Carry him off on the
That's a
stretcher
custom
of
one,
glory.
for sure.
That
We
man
thank you
right
for
there
sharing
is
this
a goat.
absolutely heart-stopping finish.
Scott Sterling and his face of steel have won it all.
That man is a goat. I ain't never seen that shit. That shit was great.
I bet Tim Howard could have saved that one.
Midnight, have you ever watched Taskmaster?
Taskmaster?
Yeah. God damn it, man.
Well, if you don't mind.
You're done, old man. You're done.
You're done.
This TikTok challenge is out there ruining people's lives because sadly in 2024, people don't think before they do a TikTok challenge. So what are they doing this time? Well, it's called the TikTok door kick challenge.
Oh
It's
my
pretty
God.
self-explanatory. It's kind of like ding dong ditching, as many of us grew up doing.
You
Unfortunately,
can't just ring a doorbell and run. You gotta fucking kick somebody's door down.
Yeah, you gotta make them think you're fucking.
So it is what it is, I guess. After it gets dark, you're
break
walking
in.
speed from the street outside someone's door and jump kick it. So not only are you damaging the door and the frame, but also waking and scaring the crap out of the people inside. Then on top of that, this is also happening in the US. And because of our Second Amendment, this can quickly become quite the extreme sport for the person doing this challenge. And you don't only have to worry about a potentially armed homeowner, but also the police, because obviously this is illegal. But that's not stopping this trend from being so big
Everyone's
and
got
viral.
like
These pranks
doorbell
are
or
happening all
like doorbell
over the
cameras.
US.
It's just
And
one
depending
too.
on
It's
what
just
state you're based in,
it's
the
just so
range
dumb.
of your
So dumb.
penalties can really vary here, because some people are getting hit with like a basic criminal mischief charge, and others with breaking and entering, because surprise, surprise, if you kick in someone's door at night, that's a charge. So let's play some of these clips because it's ridiculous.
Damn.
Yeah. The frame didn't like that one. That's so unnecessary.
Damn,
Because I
that
mean,
was
like the
loud,
ding dong
too.
ditch, that's annoying. But this can ruin a family's monthly budget if they suddenly have to replace a front door. So the clip that we just saw happened in Silver Spring, Maryland, which is right outside DC. But as I said previously, it is happening all over the states. So here's some news coverage on it.
Spoke to numerous people who live here in the Kensington Grove neighborhood. All
That's
of
a
them
nice
told me
neighborhood,
they're
it looks
angry
like,
that this
too.
even happened in the first
Sound
place.
about right.
And these teens need to think twice before kicking.
Well, he ain't
on
gonna do it in the hood.
someone's door.
Shit.
Heard just a loud
Ridiculous trend.
They tried to
immediately get shot.
solid, just loud thud.
They come running out the house after
February
you.
27th, around 6 o'clock at
Come
night,
out
he
the
saw
house after
and
you.
heard 5 teens kicking and banging on
Five?
his neighbor's door in the Kensington Grove
I know,
neighborhood
that's
in
fucking
Greenwood.
robbery,
He gave us
motherfucker.
this surveillance
Dude, for
video,
real,
which
they
he
can't
says showed the teens walking in the neighborhood moments before it happened.
Saw my neighbor take off after him, so we kind of cut
Attaboy,
through the
neighbor.
houses. I followed them, and he
Chase him
chased
down.
them. I don't know, 3-4 blocks away, across Stones Crossing, down to Molinex. Lost him in the woods, you know, called the cops. They came and kind of took it from there.
Johnson County Sheriff's officials say the
Damn.
suspects are between 13 and 14 years old.
course.
Prosecutor Lance
Come
Hammond
on, guys.
is all part of a viral TikTok challenge called the Door Kick Challenge, a new version of Ding Dong Ditch,
Nothing
except
better than
instead of
causing
ringing
trouble
the
when you're like a
doorbell, the
13,
participants
14-year-old
bang
boy.
and kick
You know
on the
what I mean?
door
They
and then
cancel
run
out, too.
away.
If kids think about this, they know that this is knucklehead behavior, because common sense tells you this is going to terrify somebody. And when you terrify somebody at their door, there can be something happen back to you.
Hamner says he has no tolerance for this, and the juvenile's actions could carry serious consequences.
It's definitely a trespass. It can be considered an attempted residential entry. That's a felony, and it's a serious situation.
And neighbors say
playing
teens
on
need to
fire,
keep that in
man.
mind before they take.
Imagine ruining your life
Fuck
over a
around.
TikTok challenge. I mean, it's
Somebody's gonna
happened,
get
but
You know,
burned.
it's play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I mean,
Man.
somebody
dude.
is going to get hurt.
The 5 juveniles
Let 'em
are
know.
expected
Find
to
out.
appear in court in the coming
He's pretty
weeks,
much
and
telling you,
Hamner
y'all knock
expects
on
to
my
file
door, I'm
juvenile
shooting.
charges
Right.
later
Kick
this week.
on me.
And
In Johnson
out.
County, Jenny Dreisler, Fox 59 News.
come on, guys, let's not be this stupid. But of course, it's also happening inside of college campuses as well. And of course, the geniuses are filming it themselves.
It is.
Are they?
Brad, get him.
Dean! He didn't get it.
It all starts with this. You got to knock first.
Wait a sec. I mean,
SVU, open up!
their faces are clearly visible. Why are they destroying school property for a TikTok
For
challenge?
real.
Why?
Stupid.
I swear to
That's
God,
for
you're going to
idiots.
want to get this. I'm totally going to get this one. Watch this one. Ready?
Get him. Get him.
SVU, open up!
Kyle.
Oh!
There's nothing like spending tens of thousands of
So,
dollars.
but
a
then they
semester for
stand there too.
education.
Like, is
They
any-
get
that's
expelled
prob-
for
is that anyone's
propaganda.
even anyone's
Oh,
room?
great
Probably, that's probably not even
TikTok
anybody's room.
challenge. Come on, like.
So just a random ass door.
Like, it's
Trying to
more
act-
understandable seeing that
Yeah.
behavior from like 13
Makes
to
it even
15-year-olds.
more
But
stupid.
from like college students, really? I'm also very aware of that there's been plenty of college students arrested for the dumbest things possible. But in a separate situation, you had 2 teenagers arrested due to this ring camera footage, and when they were found, they admitted to doing this because of a TikTok challenge. So they were then arrested with 4 counts of burglary of a dwelling. So this TikTok challenge straight up ruined their lives, or at
Clap it
least
up.
Good.
They
made it
deserve
way harder
Good.
for them. Like, this
They
is so
deserve it.
frustrating to watch because it's like it's so
I hope they actually
easy
get,
to
like-
understand.
like-
Hey, this is a really bad
are
idea.
guilty,
This
too. Like,
can
don't
have
let 'em
some
off.
very serious consequences. Not only for
You
yourself,
gotta learn something.
but also others. Like, who wants to be scared in the middle of the night and then wake up to find a broken front door? which then needs to be replaced, which, you know, can range anywhere from like $400 to $2,000 and upwards.
Man, that shit could be expensive, bro.
But that last incident we talked about happened in Florida, hence the very strict charges. You don't mess around in Florida. That's anything that I've learned from just sitting here watching people doing stupid stuff for a living. The people who F around in Florida, they really find out.
Don't fuck around here, boy.
Happened in Idaho, where they warned if they were caught, because apparently they didn't find them, they would face years of probation and dozens of hours of community service. And the list just keeps going on, because apparently this is a very viral trend happening all across the US. You also had 3 teens in Texas who were also caught doing this, and they were charged with criminal mischief and evading the police. So, wow, unexpected that Texas would be one of the lighter charges. I guess evading the police isn't really that light of a charge, but criminal mischief is pretty light compared to breaking and entering. Or burglary, that's what it was. It was a burglary charge. Come on, guys, you should know better.
And it is just like it sounds. People run up to doors, kick them as hard as they can, and then they...
The shocking thing is just how many incidents there is of this. Like, there's hundreds of these.
Reporter Anthony Johnson spoke to a woman in East Orange who has been a victim of the social media challenge.
Who the fuck?
This has become a growing problem, which appears to be part of a TikTok
Who's the
challenge.
first guy? All right, guys.
People kicking the front
TikTok
doors,
challenge out here.
homes,
They were starting it right now.
and running away.
I'm about to kick my neighbor's fucking door down.
A couple of incidents, but since there's hundreds of these,
Your boy.
I'm shocked that there's this many people who do this.
Banging sound that's like insane.
Probably was a little white. Probably was a white
Here
kid.
in East Orange have put
Probably
out
right
an
on that.
advisory warning
Like,
residents this is an ongoing trend. There has been no
I do.
authority
You're
report
wrong.
how many of
I
these
do.
incidents have
I
taken
do.
place. We've seen similar trends created on TikTok. But police officials say this one could turn out
That seemed tame compared to the other ones we've seen.
because they could be risking their lives.
For our residents and homeowners, you know, it can frighten them. But then for those who are participating, it could be lethal or deadly for them as well.
One victim of the door kicking challenge had to spend hundreds on repairs and wonders why
Carol was not happy.
that sucks.
Carol was not
Actions
happy.
on social media.
To have my mom spend an extra $700 because it was a challenge. What was the challenge? To scare us dead? Because that's pretty pathetic.
One witness says the suspects
Carol-
are usually
Carol was not
teenagers.
having it.
You tell him, Meryl.
Take off running right after kicking the
She
door.
right though.
Yes, this is going on in New Jersey as well. Oh man, guys, come
$700.
on, let's do a little better. Come on, TikTok, what are y'all doing? I mean, if it's not obvious enough, the attention that you get from doing this TikTok challenge is not worth any of the downsides. I get that most people that are doing this are kids, and some kids are just gonna do some stupid stuff, but maybe parents need to start sitting down and having the TikTok talk with your kids. Hey son, hey daughter, if you see a stupid challenge or trend on
Don't be a
TikTok,
piece of
think
shit.
before you do it. Actually, just don't do any TikTok trends or challenges at all. You'll be better off. Please don't be a moron. I've sacrificed so much to get you up to this point. Don't screw it up. Don't ruin our family legacy over a TikTok challenge, please. Imagine their parents go to work and then you have the water cooler gossip. Her son is in jail for a TikTok challenge. Nightmare fuel. But this should also be a given. Like, there's never been any point in my life where I thought running and kicking in someone's door would be a good idea or
Bro,
even something
chill
I would
out.
ever want to do. So maybe this new generation is just hooked. But who knows? I guess time will tell, because eventually they'll all be taking care of us. I say that like I'm a boomer. No, I'm the first year of Gen Z. So I guess we need better role models, maybe. Shit. I don't know. I don't even think there's a solution for it. I guess we just gotta ride it out and see what happens.
We gotta rock it out, dog.
Subscribe or I might not see you again. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy
Gotta
this
ride it
video,
out,
and
dude.
hopefully I'll see
What are we
you guys in the
supposed
next
to do?
one.
We could
Peace.
try. Definitely gotta try it. Hey, teach
We gotta do cry about it.
I will cry.
Yeah.
I just winded myself.
He's dead.
Hello, 911.
There's a bomb.
You said there's a what?
The bomb.
Hello, this is a 911 operator.
Why are you playing like this?
Well, guys, it
Why you playing like that? That's not
over the
funny,
last few years, I have seen a lot of people do a lot of stupid stuff, which has led me to not really be surprised anymore when I see people do insane things for attention on the internet. That is, at least, about 99% of the time. There's
We need
one
everybody
thing
to
that it
look
seems
over
like
there real
more and more people have begun to do that I don't think I will ever not be at least a little bit surprised when I hear about it. Bomb threats for TikTok. TikTok. No, that's not the name of a new age emo band. That seems to be the hottest trend with the kids these days. Walking into an airport or calling the police and saying you're going to commit an act of terrorism and being so fucking stupid that you didn't think you were going to get in trouble for doing that seems to be all the rage. Not too long ago, we talked about that idiot who walked into an airport, walked up to a police officer, and said, I have a bomb in my car and I'm about to blow up the entire airport, and thought he would just be able to walk out and go home. And today we have a similar story. A 28-year-old Florida man, because of course it is, named Cody, was arrested earlier this year after he decided to prank call 911 with a phone that he found in a Walmart bathroom, which might be the most quintessential American headline of all time. After he was arrested and questioned by the police, his excuse was that TikTok made him do it. Yeah, a near 30-year-old man blamed TikTok for calling in an act of terrorism to 911. To be honest, it sounds like a pretty fair justification to me, so I don't really know the problems the cops had with this guy. They were probably just haters, but that's what we're here to find out. So let's not waste any more time. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
I gotta hear this crap.
Hello, 911.
Yeah. Jesus. That's your boy, Crack.
Hello, 911.
I would smack this dude in the face.
You said there's a what?
A bomb.
Where?
Walmart.
You said it's at Walmart?
What Walmart?
I'm attempting callback. Hello? Hello, this is a 911 operator.
Yep.
All right, there's a few things I think you should know.
I'm sure Homeboy used his phone too.
That really make this whole situation crazier than it already was. First of all, and I think the funniest part of this entire situation is that this guy was just doing this for the love of the game. Unlike the other people we've talked about, he did not record this for a TikTok. He was literally just inspired by TikTok and was doing this in his free time. He had no friends around. Nobody was watching him do this. This guy was just taking a shit in a Walmart, saw a phone sitting in the stall, and was like, you know what? I'm about to do something hilarious. Then, after making this phone call, instead of, leaving the Walmart, the man went and shopped. He was checking out when the cops came to arrest him. This guy was really just doing this because he thought it'd be a good time.
Black shirt right there? Grab it. Yeah. David, we're going to talk to you real quick before you leave, all right, boss? What's up, buddy?
Hey, you see they was on that black dude first, though, right? I hope y'all seen that.
What's up? I did. Yeah. Just profile it.
Paper bag? Put this handbag in your bag? What's going on? So I'm going to explain it to you real quick.
Although he was wearing black.
So how do they know that it's him though? Just off of the
investigation.
I don't know. They must have traced some shit for real. They must have been like, yeah, somebody in a black shirt.
Grab your phone there?
Yeah, but like,
good deal.
You know,
there's a lot of people in a black shirt.
I don't know. Yeah, I know.
I 100% believe that this guy was fully under the impression that as soon as the cops took a look at his phone and didn't see any calls to 911, they would be like, oh, well, there's no way you could have done this. Enjoy your day, sir. I'm not expecting that much from a guy who sees a phone in a Walmart bathroom and his first thought is, I'm going to call the police and make a bomb threat. Surely you didn't think this was going to work, right?
Why am I getting pointed out? I don't have anything on my record or nothing. I don't know. I'm not the detective, but there is an incident that occurred here of some sort, and the detectives have enough probable cause to detain you right now. So what's the probable cause, bud?
They must have had him on like camera on the phone.
Okay, so I've never committed a crime before, so maybe I just don't have that criminal grind set, but I never understand why people do this. Like really, once the cops have you in cuffs, they've probably made their mind up about what they're doing. And I say probably in jest, they have. Like you're never, ever, ever gonna talk your way out of handcuffs. Once the handcuffs go on, once you're under arrest, it's time to get comfortable. I mean, you're about to go through the process. Even if you know you haven't done anything, you're not talking your way out of the back of a police car. So what do these guys think they're doing, especially knowing that you did it? What do they think saying things like, what's the probable cause, or I have nothing on my record is going to accomplish? Okay, so unfortunately for us, the rest of the video is going to be blurred out. I guess that's the way the police department decided to release it. But we've made it to the police station, and now it's time for the interrogation. This is where it gets good.
But you know why we're here, okay? And what the investigation that we're doing. So, I'm sorry.
How am I involved in it?
I'm sorry?
How do you single personnel?
Who told you that you couldn't be there?
Whoever was manning the door. One of your officers.
Okay. So are you telling me right now that you were never in there prior to the time that you were interacting with me and Corporal Martin?
I wasn't there.
We know you were. Okay, you know there's cameras, right?
Yeah, okay. I was in the store. I'm looking to get because we have a rat problem at the house. I'm looking to get this peppermint oil, but it was essential oil, so I was doing some research to see if the essential oil would work. So I was waiting. Then there's all these
Buddy really
show up.
trying to talk about
I said, oh, essential oil.
For a nice rat problem.
So then I go across the street, get a massage, come back.
Okay, so maybe I'm misinterpreting this, but I don't think I am. It sounds like he's asking him, were you not in Walmart before you made contact with these officers? And he says, yeah, but I left to do some research, and then I went back in once I found out this would work for the rat problem we're having, and the cops wouldn't let me in. Is that him saying that he made this bomb threat, went out to his car, and went back into Walmart after the
go back in and get some shopping done.
The police officers showed up? Are you serious?
Let's just start from like the first time you were in the store. Tell us what happened from when you went in the store.
I went to the store, I spoke to the pharmacist. I asked if they had peppermint oil. She showed me where it was. I looked at it and I said it was essential oil.
What happens next?
I go take a piss, I go out back to the parking lot, and a bunch of cops are there, so what else going on here? And then I look on my phone and try and see if the essential oil was going to work for the rodents. And then I, figure out that it could possibly work. I go back to the store and you guys get in on that in.
I can't.
Oh my God. Like 15, 20 minutes. So
This man's really talking about fucking essential oils, huh?
buy the oil and then you guys are handcuffing me.
Why not? Why not? You going to jail?
Nothing on my record. I help people.
Yeah, okay, well, that's exactly what he did. This guy must have a fucking Godzilla-sized rat terrorizing his home to go back into the Walmart that he just got a bomb thrown on. I mean, holy shit, dude, go to a different store. Surely the guy isn't so stupid that he didn't realize the cops were there for him. Surely, right? Actually, I don't know. That seems kind of likely given the fact that this guy thought he wasn't going to have anything done to him for calling in a bomb threat.
Let's talk about the phone you found.
I didn't find a phone in the bathroom.
I didn't find a phone in the bathroom.
Have you heard of touch DNA?
No.
Or if you touch something, your DNA will be on it by the skin, the oils, from your skin, fingerprints, obviously. Right?
Holy shit, this is all making sense. The guy doesn't know what a fingerprint is. Oh, that must suck so bad. Can you imagine being alive in 2024 and not knowing what DNA fingerprints are? Who knows what this guy has done in the past under the impression that if nobody saw
is clearly really
it's impossible to prove it.
So your fingerprints are going to come back on the phone. Your DNA will come back on the phone, right? So we know you had the phone. Right? Is it a prank call that was taken the wrong way?
So what happens if it was?
What's that?
Okay.
Was it a prank call?
He says, so what happens if it was? That's pretty much an admission right there.
What reasoning did you think when you do this, Steve? Did you like watch YouTube or something, or TikToks or something? They do this stuff all the time, unfortunately. Is that what kind of persuaded you to do something? So where'd you find the phone at?
So I was just laying on the paper, the toilet paper thing.
Toilet paper roll, and it was just sitting there. Was it an iPhone? Was it a Samsung? Do you know what color was it?
Black.
Okay. Did it have like a case on it or anything?
Yeah, same case I have.
Another thing that absolutely blows my mind is how these guys
more
go from,
TikTok
what are
for
you
y'all.
talking about? I have never done anything like this in my entire life. Phone? What phone? I don't even know how to make a phone call. And then in the next sentence be like, yeah, it was on the toilet paper roll. It was a black iPhone. I actually made multiple calls, called the guy's wife, told him I want a divorce. Like, what is the thought process here? Whenever I see police interrogations on TV shows or movies, I'm like, who would fall for this shit? Obviously, they're just trying to manipulate you. And then you watch it happen.
You watch it happen in real life and it works.
We're trying to get what was the reason? You went in the bathroom, saw a phone, but what persuaded you to go through it and then say, not just search for pictures or maybe, well, let me call my
Trying to be funny, I guess. TikTok.
Do you remember what you said?
I just said bomb Walmart TikTok. It's
You were saying TikTok, as in the app TikTok. Okay, not Tick or TikTok.
No, it's a TikTok.
Oh, good cover up. Hey, good cover up.
Fucking wild.
Good cover up. That's good intent right there.
Man, there ain't no cover up. They just got this nigga that
Everybody's
buddy's stupid as
and then he
shit.
comes up with this bullshit about how he was just saying there's a bomb on TikTok or something
I was
like
saying,
that. If
I
the
know,
guy doesn't know
I
that
know.
fingerprints
Yeah,
exist,
bro.
I guess
Good try.
I wouldn't
Good
be
try, though.
surprised
Good
if
try.
he doesn't know that 911
No, for real, bro. For real, yeah.
Anybody listening
I was trying to tell you guys.
This guy was doing
on
his
TikTok,
Joker impression and was saying tick, tick, tick like a clock. Did this guy say he's a firefighter? That's fucking terrifying. That should be gross negligence by the fire department. Do not send this guy to anybody's house to save them.
So what made you return?
I mean, because
You need that oil.
You originally were taken out.
You gotta get that essential oil, man. You got that big ass rat at the crib.
You passed by all officers, and you didn't say nothing at that time. And now you're coming to sense of realizing how many officers are responding fire, you know. At any time were you kind of regretting your decision at the, you know, realizing what the repercussions?
I was thinking about that rat.
Type of decision.
Right, Thorough?
No,
right?
I'm asking you what.
Yeah, that's why I come back too.
Okay.
So now he's saying the reason that he came back to the store is because he regretted his decision and felt bad? Is that why he told the officers he didn't do anything?
Yep.
Did not interact with the
Sounds
officers
about right.
whatsoever? He was
Sounds
just
about
trying
right.
to check out and leave? Yeah,
Yeah,
that
sounds
seems
about
kind of
right.
hard to believe, man. The mind on this guy, I tell ya. Generational shit right here. But for our viewing, that's basically where the video ends. I did some digging and I looked through this guy's court records, and he actually ended up getting charged with a felony, and he was found guilty a couple of months ago. So this guy is now a felon for the rest of his life because he wanted to entertain himself while looking for peppermint oil at a Walmart by calling in a bomb threat. No TikTok clout to gain from this. No funny story with a friend who's as stupid as you where you can be like, hey man, remember the time when I called in a bomb threat? No, this guy just lost dozens of rights because he couldn't just scroll social media like the rest of us while taking a shit.
On a random
Well,
phone,
guys,
too.
what do you think? Have we found America's new pastime? I've done some pretty stupid shit in my life.
Tell that
Whenever I
man.
watch videos like this, I always come out feeling just a little
See, if
bit
I were to
better
see a
about
phone like
myself,
that,
because
I would
in
immediately
situations like
take
this,
the
I
whole
just have
picture
no
and fix it.
capacity to feel bad
See,
for
that's
this
what I'm
guy.
saying. That's
The
what a normal
mindset
person
you
would
have
do.
to
That's
have
what a normal
is
freaking
insane.
psychopath
Like, really,
does.
That's
think
what a
about
normal,
it.
yeah, that's what a
This
normal
guy
psycho
got.
would do.
You have to be the
But
type of
this,
person
That
to
person,
see a
when they get
phone
their
in the
phone,
bathroom
though,
and not think,
you
hey,
set it as
turn
a
this
set your
into
dick
a
as the
phone,
background
give it
real
to an
quick.
employee, you can maybe
Yeah.
find who it
You know what I'm
belongs to,
saying?
but instead think,
Well, I mean,
I
it's
should go
probably at the
through
lock
it.
screen,
Okay,
so you
now
probably
what? What
can't
do I
do
want to
that.
do with it?
But
I
you
want
know
to
what
prank
I mean.
Oh,
calls.
yeah.
I tried.
I want to prank calls. 911.
Can you imagine
What?
one day you're like, oh
Answer this.
fuck,
What
I
do
thought I
wanna
lost
say?
my
I wanna
phone,
say there's a
and then you're
bar
scrolling one day and it's like,
That's like 8
Like, what the
decisions in a
fuck?
row, and then
What
the
the
guy leaves the Walmart and comes back once the cops show up for him,
left
not
and
knowing
came
about
back.
DNA, fingerprints, or the fact that they record
your
emergency
boy.
services calls. This guy is a danger to himself. If you
that
enjoyed
guy is a
the video,
menace.
please leave a like and
danger
walk
to
over
himself
to
and us.
the button and touch it. It's
Midnight,
free
watch your
and
back,
won't
bro.
cost
He
you
might be out there
anything,
somewhere,
But for
bro.
now,
For real.
that's all I have for you today.
Shit, that nigga might be he close enough to me. Shit, I might want to watch my own back. Shit. My jam.
Oh shit.
Yeah, here you go with this shit. Here you go with this shit, man.
Oh, I'm excited for this shit, but I hate
Man.
these, but I love
Winter of 1985. A family living in a remote region of the Philippines receives a package at their door, which contained a single VHS
Oh, is
tape
this
and a
spooky
note
story
stating
time?
that the contents
Oh,
were
Yeah, I
for
think
children.
so. We got more if we want, though. I think it's just out of
You
order.
put this at the end, bro. You gotta put this at the end, bro.
Alright, my bad. I didn't even know.
I love
It's
you,
not
bro,
out of
but
order
we
yet.
gotta put that at the
I want to
end.
watch spooky shit at the end. What the hell's wrong with you?
No,
Yeah,
that
that's what-
video. This video is.
This
I
video
mean, we could
is-
watch. We could watch. If you look, put a vote to it. Put a vote to it.
I don't. I just know it's gonna be really fucked up. I know this video is gonna be really dark. Like gonna be really dark and fucked up.
I mean,
I know that.
let's go for it. Fuck it. We are.
I'm
Let's do it. You excited for it? Go ahead. Go for it.
I'm excited and nervous. That's the thing. It's
Gathered
about
one by
kids'
one,
TV
it sat in front of
shows.
the
I'm
television
nervous.
with a
Nick
tape
Crowley
on
be
display,
doing a lot,
introducing them
bro.
to a
Bro,
brand new
he's
show
bringing my whole
called
vibe down, bro.
That's why I was gonna. I didn't meant to save it. Usually it's at the end. I thought
I watch
I
him,
put it
but
at the end.
buddy ass is.
Oh yeah,
thought
that's
experience
creepy.
for hundreds
I
of
thought
kids
I
across
put it
the
at the
world,
end, man.
made to
My
watch a
bad.
seemingly
Usually,
harmless
I
show
usually
about
put it
a
at the end for a
family.
reason.
With most of the young
I
viewers
love you,
loving
Nick,
it,
but damn,
gladly watching
bro.
this episode and the many others that would be sent later on, over and over
Honestly,
again,
again,
blissfully
yeah,
unaware
my bad. I
that
thought
what
it
they were
was at
being
the
shown
end.
would someday come to be
I
known
must have
as
accidentally-
one of
oh,
the
I
most
switched.
disturbing rabbit holes
I
in the
switched to
history
Death
of
Battle to
children's
the
media.
end. That's my bad.
This is the story of life with Grandpa, the darkest kid show.
My bad, Amy. My bad.
Nothing can harm you when Jesus is near.
This is gonna be fucking.
Yeah, you watch it. You want us to watch it. You go ahead and watch it. I'll be right back, bro.
Before we dive any further down this rabbit hole, I want to first thank today's video sponsor, Save. Throughout my life, I've taken countless trips to Canada as I live right by the border, and I'm so used to going there that at this point it doesn't even feel like I'm traveling to another country until I to install the eSIM. This instantly activates to using available regions. So this data plan, all you have to do is download
fellowship dedicated to sharing. She loved to play on the steep hillside.
Ride with Grandpa, won't you come along?
This is Life with Grandpa, a straight-to-VHS show made for children created sometime in the mid-80s. The program followed a family of humanoid puppets on their journey to teach the audience lessons loosely based on Christianity, through the use of stories, skits, and songs, acting as a guide for children to live their best possible lives for Jesus.
We're continuing with some more lessons about prayer. Are you all ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Lord. Such sweethearts.
The show was set up in an episodic fashion, never following any main overarching storyline, and instead, each installment would be composed of a series of shorter segments, recounting past experiences from this family, with an occasional musical number thrown in here and there.
It reminds me of one of those Christmas movies.
Unsurprisingly, the main character of the crew was Grandpa, who acted as the show's host,
The
often being the one to
puppet
teach the
style.
episode's central messages not only to his
that Christmas story,
family,
that
but
Christmas,
to all the kids watching at home.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's got the same animation as that movie.
Like to pray
The
that some
puppet style.
poor little boy who
The
doesn't
Heat Miser. I
have
can't remember the damn name of
blessings
that.
as you do.
I wish
We'll find you
Christmas
kind.
movie it was.
Yes, Grandpa.
As he was made to be a wise, almost religious-like figure whose words were never questioned. Often seen by his side was his wife, Mother Maria, though for as often as she's shown, she rarely has much to say.
Yes, thank the Lord for such a good, sweet boy.
Typically only chiming in when she's reiterating Grandpa's messages to the children. And of the children, there was Davida, Techi, and Davidito, with the latter being one of the show's central figures, landing right next to or potentially even ahead of Grandpa in terms of screen time, as Davidito often got his own segments and told his own stories directly to the audience.
Hello, children. Would you like to hear some exciting prayer adventures? This first
I don't
story
know, you're
happened
making me
when
nervous.
I was very small.
And though it's never outright stated, it's clear that Davidito was put on a pedestal, with the child often getting special treatment and being showered in gifts, as the family clearly seemed to favor him.
Thank you, Uncle
I don't
Al.
like this at
It's
all.
called a kite.
Yeah, this one's definitely going to be a real creepy
Because
video.
you were such a good
I feel like this is something that like you were watching and then you find out years later that he had like
With there never being an
people
explanation as to
hostage in
why.
his basement
This is the
this
core
whole time.
of Life with Grandpa.
I
with
feel like
the only other
that's
reoccurring characters
something that
being
there's going to be
Sarah
some
and
crazy
Noel,
I think that's the
a couple
case
that was
here.
often shown
Yeah,
around
I
the
think
house
you're right.
helping
Yeah,
out
I
the
think you're
kids.
really right on
Despite
this
this
one.
looking like something pulled straight from the depths of the uncanny valley, the
Jamie,
content
what up,
within the
man?
show didn't
What's up,
really
bro?
seem all that troublesome.
Dude,
In
bro,
fact,
this
it
shit's
appeared
weird.
fairly normal,
Jamie owned
and
this
not too
VHS
unlike the
when he
many
was a
other
kid.
low-budget religious shows of the time, highlighting themes
This
like
was a
Around me
regular
like that
play.
nigga.
This was a regular playing in the Sharks household.
It was
Yes.
fucking not. It was motherfucking not.
obey.
sharing.
I ain't
Watch
never
this every-
seen this shit
Every night on the way to bed, put this bitch in the VCR.
See it?
until today.
To share my cars with you. Which ones do you like?
And loving
I
everyone.
gotta finish rolling up.
That's
I'll
really
turn the light
sweet of
off.
you, David. Thank you for that nice, generous present.
What present?
That nice kiss. A kiss makes a real beautiful gift or present.
Though mixed within these fairly standard teachings, you'll find other moments that are far more unusual.
Uh-oh.
Don't run down that gravel hill.
Yeah, don't do that.
Davida!
Oh, God!
Oh, Davida.
She's bleeding, and her cut is all covered with dirt.
And I don't even have a tissue to wipe it with.
Uh-oh.
I'll just have to lick it clean.
Whoa!
And spit out the dirt.
The show featured a lot of strange
what?
themes that seemed to have nothing to do
We
with
couldn't just
religion,
wipe it
or
off
at
and
least
go
not the
home and
conventional
wash it?
beliefs of Christianity, with one of the
We gotta-
I'm gonna lick your forehead, girl.
To really pray that there won't be a scar.
Soon afterwards, there was no sign at all of the deep gash on Davida's forehead. Surely a doctor would have stitched it, but our God is still a God of miracles. Praise the Lord.
as well as its
Oh, boy.
constant endorsement of spanking.
Oh, boy.
Jesus loves us because he loves us.
Oh hell no!
Oh,
Yeah, he definitely got
yeah.
bodies.
He definitely got kids.
He got
in the-
bodies.
Yep, bodies, yep.
I'll let this one play
really
out.
sorry. So if the
Oh,
Lord
yeah.
should
Nah,
spank
fuck
you
that.
a little bit or correct you, it's for your own good. It's because he loves you and wants you to be
Oh,
good
dude,
and
this
obey.
is so wrong.
While these are certainly
creepy as
strange,
shit,
by far the
bro.
most glaring indication that Life with Grandpa wasn't just your typical kids show came from the program's stance
Get ready to have
on women,
nightmares.
with the first major example coming from a song made for
No,
the
because
young
it
girls
won't
watching
be
it.
last at this one. So hopefully it's something better.
Palate cleanser.
I'm ready for any job at all, whether it's great or whether it's small.
Oh, Black Hand said he said the palate cleanser.
I see you guys.
Ready to do God's will.
The message behind this song
I
is
was gonna
clear.
click it
If
before
you're a
this
woman,
started
then it's your
playing.
job to cook, clean, and have babies. And that's about it, as this is God's will and your sole purpose for existing. And while this ideology was certainly not as controversial at the time, the show took it even further, as it hammered home this idea to all the children watching on by repeating one line at the end over and over again.
Trust and obey, for there's no other way. Trust and obey, for there's no other way. Trust and obey, for there's no other way.
Yeah, this guy's
Making it clear that this was a lesson that the
guy's got a lot
showrunners
going
didn't want these kids to question.
That guy for sure got
But as
cheated on.
comically offensive as the song is,
I for sure
it
killed
was
his
far
wife.
from the worst that the show had to offer.
Calm down, man.
I don't argue that though. It seems a lot like he's right on the money. Is what he's saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, 100% sure, dude.
Oh, now
I've
he's
been cheating on him
he's
for
the
quite some
Another
time
episode, we're
now.
showing a musical number about Grandpa, who's portrayed as a scientist that's always busy working, though the song is really less about him and more about his love interest.
Wait, what? He loves a robot? What a fucking jingle.
A robot with long hair and nude female breasts. It's one of the most surreal things that I've ever seen on a kid's show, as this thing was clearly meant to be a portrayal of Grandpa's wife and women in general, likening them to robots. Though unlike the previous demeaning song, this number is blatantly perverted, as it not only shows the robot having breasts, but it also shows Grandpa fondling them as well. And these perversions weren't even exclusive to its imagery.
Wow. Oh, wow.
It's shocking for so many reasons,
Wow, it's pretty
but mainly due
sexual
to the
there.
fact that this was on a show that was literally made for toddlers and young children, who are now being shown this clearly explicit content. And most disturbing of all is the realization that this sexualized material was actually nothing new to the world of Life with Grandpa.
Doesn't seem like it.
Predating the puppets, there was a
I'm
little-known
about to-
illustrated book
I'm about to
series
hit
called
Grandpa
Life
in his
of
face.
Grandpa, with the show
Grandpa's
practically
a
being
piece
a
of shit,
shot-for-shot remake of this book series, featuring the same exact characters and stories. And much like the show, the series was also a religious guide created for children. In its pages, you'll find themes about morality and lessons made to guide you towards a proper way of living through this religion. But these books also had a very apparent dark side, one far worse than the show it inspired. In the chapter Real Fathers, we're shown
Yeah,
a
who's
scene where
watching
Tetchy and
another video in the
Davidito
back?
question why they have two different skin colors, despite them being siblings, as Tetchy noticed that Davidito's skin appeared light brown, while hers was almost pure white, to which Grandpa then explains to them how his wife and their mother had slept with other men. See, God used Timothy and Carlos only to f*** Mama so that I could have you both. They were just like an instrument or tool that Jesus used to help create you wonderful little children for his kingdom. Praise the Lord.
Nah.
This was followed by an in-depth explanation of what that scene looked like, including images depicting the act.
Wow.
Examples like this are prevalent all throughout the pages of Life with Grandpa, with erotic material being shown constantly with no regard as to how inappropriate this is to be showing kids. Which begs the obvious question, why? Why was Life with Grandpa so blatantly perverted? Well, the answer lies with the author of the books, and the reason for the show's existence,
We never said who that was. The
David Byrne.
He shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect. That's when Jesus is going
This
to come back
motherfucker.
to rapture
Oh,
his
God.
saints
That's Grandpa.
together.
Yep.
Born in 1919, David
Yep.
grew up a devout believer in
For
Christianity,
sure.
but wanted something more
It
from
definitely
religion.
looks like what
He
your
dreamed
dad was
of one day
saying, got
starting
some
his own
bodies in
group
the
with his own
basement and shit.
teachings. And in 1968, at the ripe age of 50, he decided it was time to do just that. The group began in Huntington Beach, California, and went by many names over the years, like Teens for Christ, the Children of God, the Family of Love, the Family International, or just the Family. But regardless of its name, there was no denying what this group was. A cult. A cult led by David Berg. Berg would find young hippies and those struggling with drug addiction and mental health issues, and convince them to join his group by stating that the end of the world was coming soon, and that they needed to follow in his path and join his family to save their souls. It was pretty standard cult ideology, but at the time it was extremely effective, with the sect amassing a staggering 10,000 members at its peak. And at first, David got by with fairly standard teachings from the Bible, although this wouldn't last. After some time, Berg began addressing his followers via frequent illustrated messages called Mo letters that featured his ramblings and teachings from the time, with Berg slowly ingraining into his members that the contents of these letters should be taken as seriously, if not more so, than the Bible. In one of these letters sent out in 1972, Berg claimed that God was going to destroy the United States and that the group needed to flee the country immediately, with Berg demanding that his followers spread out all across the globe and open up communal homes where members could live as one, far away from the public eye. As a result, many members packed up their things and left right away, leading to roughly 130 communities being established across 70 different countries, essentially overnight. This mass migration had an extremely significant impact on them, as it left practically the entire group outside of the United States, and more importantly, outside of the United States jurisdiction, meaning that Berg could now get away with far more than he used to. And unsurprisingly, this is where he began to tighten his control. The full-time members were made to give up all of their earthly possessions to the group and cease all contact with their family and friends who were non-believers, cutting them off from the outside world completely. And these restrictions also applied to the media they consumed.
I decided I would limit how much I would watch the TV. Cause now I've got the answer. It's the slave, I'm the master. It no longer has a spell on me.
In his teachings, Berg denounced all forms of entertainment made outside of the cult, since he believed that this would poison the minds of his members and potentially sway them into leaving the group.
Being smart and getting out of there.
Only consume media that was produced directly by the family, with these works often being created by Berg himself or the other followers he enlisted, and then shipped directly to the members' homes, leading to hundreds if not thousands of videos, movies, and TV shows being produced and shared among the family. But for Berg, this wasn't just about providing entertainment. It was really all about controlling the minds of his group, and even more importantly, indoctrination, with his primary targets being children. From birth, most kids were not shown any media other than what the cult gave their parents, with these works quite literally shaping their minds into following everything that the cult believed in without question. The main themes of these were usually things like always be happy,
More than 70 little muscles form a rowdy face. But only 14 muscles put a smile in his place. On his face.
always show love,
Oh boy.
and never, under any circumstances, question your parents.
Always best to do it 'cause Daddy said so. Do it 'cause Daddy said so. Do it 'cause Daddy said so.
That doesn't say, notice how it doesn't say parents, it says daddy.
Do it 'cause Daddy said so. Do it 'cause Daddy said so.
Just saying, it's another
And Life with
thing for
Grandpa
this
was
whole
no
thing, you
exception,
can tell,
as it too was created by the family in order to instill their beliefs into its child viewers, with the line trust and obey being hammered home time and time again, as those creating the programs didn't want their kids questioning any of the practices, and so they were teaching them to simply smile along and trust the adults. But because the group was the one producing and distributing the content, they basically had no regulations placed on them, meaning that they could include whatever they want in these shows without any repercussions, leading to many of the showrunners exploring some of the group's more controversial beliefs, which becomes extremely troublesome when you realize that the family wasn't just your standard cult, and instead, it was a sex cult.
Of course.
Called it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. Seemed like it.
What are you thinking about? You think about a beautiful naked man and a beautiful naked woman. And what is the first thing that a beautiful naked man and a beautiful naked woman would, of course, naturally do as soon as they saw each other and nobody else around? I think just one look was all it took.
David Berg was a the idea of sex consumed him and seeped its way into essentially all of his teachings.
I think Adam and Eve are over there in the bushes right now, busy making not pina colada, I think they're making some other kind of juices.
And once his followers were outside, he began to preach something they called the law of love, which essentially said that the family should be showing all people love, and that love should come in the form of sex.
I practice what I preach, and I preach sex, boys and girls, hallelujah.
And so he told his followers to open up their relationships.
Hey, you know what it is? One girl told them you'd be the last
as you were
person
made
that
to
ever had
share
sex
your
with.
partner
Like,
in the hopes of
I
enticing
bet.
new people
That's
to
part of the
join.
cult.
But he wasn't satisfied with just this.
I hope that wasn't
And
it.
instead, he began to mandate that the women of the group participate in something he called flirty fishing. Also known as FF, flirty fishing describes the practice of women going into bars at night in order to pick up lonely men, who they would then entertain for the night. The goal of this was to convince these men to join the family, though more realistically, the goal was also to make money, as they were made to charge for their services, with the women being told to seek lonely businessmen. And this is something that Berg not only pushed heavily, but outright mandated, insisting that every woman in the group do this or face being removed from the family, even those who were married. And Berg was so serious about this that he sent every colony report forms so that they could report how much flirty fishing was being done, in order to check their statistics and make sure that they were up to par.
He wanted to
Understandably, many women of the group were concerned by this. They wanted nothing to do with it. However, most of them had moved all the way across the world and sacrificed all of their belongings to be in this group, meaning that their removal would leave them with nothing. They were trapped. Simply put, Berg was forcing the women of the group into prostitution, and he was shameless about it too, calling them God's whores and Christ's hookers. The worst of all, Berg knew that flirty fishing could put these women in grave danger, as he admitted to them that violent assaults were going to happen, but he said that if you want to live, simply don't resist. And if you do get hurt or even killed, that's entirely your fault, as after all, it was God's will. And this was on top of a myriad of other horrific things that Berg said that I can't even repeat here. But the man saying all of these horrific things was the same man who wrote Life with Grandpa, and he used this medium to normalize his sex cult's beliefs for the children watching, which gives more context as to why women were portrayed in the way they were in these books and the show, as Life with Grandpa was breaking down the young girls watching and grooming them for a life of prostitution that they were made to accept without question.
Trust and obey, for there's no other way. Trust and obey.
Though the show wasn't only for preparing the kids for the perverse lifestyles they were headed for, and instead, they were already becoming well accustomed to it. Throughout his Mo letters, Berg also began to preach that children should be involved in these affairs and sharing as well, stating that he believed age should have nothing to do with it. In fact, he believed that children should be taught this lifestyle.
Get video abort. This has gotten.
And although, again, I can't read his.
We were just watching Scott Sterling. What the fuck happened?
And much like
what the fuck happened?
It was mandatory. The abuse that followed is.
I'm gonna need to go on a smoke break more and try to get happy.
So much more.
The parents of the children not only allowed, but often participated in, with one of the more notorious large-scale accounts coming from something that the group called the Love Video. This movie was a result of Berg sending out requests to all of the parents to send him lewd videos of their children dancing, which he not only took for himself, but packaged together into a long-form compilation video that was then distributed to all of the cult's members, encouraging the others to film similar content, with Berg going as far as creating a guide to help create the perfect video. And not only did many parents go along with this, but many clearly enjoyed it.
Keita shared with us the video that just came from World Services, and it was so inspiring. It was so beautiful. The love video.
And for this couple specifically, this wasn't the only order that they were happily following.
And it was really a blessing too for Joe and Hobo, because they had a good chance to share also with Sally. And so the Lord's really setting us freer and freer to obey and to be free and to show that sample of freedom and love to the world.
Bro, how did anybody give them airtime? What the fuck? That's wild.
I have no words.
You sit in a small boat in the middle of a small lake. The fishing has been good today. You've already caught 3 trout.
We got
and your
crack. We
line
gonna
is out
finish that
looking to
video
snag
while
another.
I'm here. I want you to
But
see the
then
rest of it.
you
Though.
smell it.
I'm gonna watch that video.
Yeah, I want you to see the
The
rest of it.
sulfur.
Oh yeah,
It's
I'm gonna watch that video.
You don't even have to look down at the.
I watch all of it.
It go, I do too, and
that there's no
it goes
time
so
to
much
get to shore
deeper,
before
bro.
it comes.
Yeah.
All you can do now
Oh yeah, let me real quick before I forget. Let me see what Black Hand put in the chat quick. Is it a song? I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah, he said the new Linkin Park.
I can't.
Didn't like it.
I did. I did not.
I didn't hear it.
And it has nothing to do with her. It didn't hit the same.
Let me just give it a little bit of. I haven't heard it. Let me give it a little chance.
I'd still give it a chance. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hitting at all. I'm hoping for better, like newer albums. I think this is the one and only song I like.
I ain't really been listening to their new stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah, me either. Honestly.
Every finger at things that you didn't do, so that's why I kept missing the clues and never realized that the one that did it was you. Your truth's not rigid, your rules aren't fair, the dark's too vivid, the light's not there. I start to give in, but I can't bear to put it all behind. I run into it blind like caught in the middle, caught in the middle, caught in a zero, caught in a zero. You should have.
I do dig the music video though, however.
This is pretty cool in the video. She's got a good little presence. She's got a good vibe.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm feeling this shit.
Yeah, she's got a really good it seems like a concert where she'd performing would be pretty damn fun if she performed like that. This is my first time even seeing anything with her in it.
They sing a lot. I sing a lot more hard rock. That shit now.
Yeah, it seems a little more hard than
which I'm not mad at. I ain't mad at.
No, this is like the only thing that really made me think Linkin Park. All the other ones, I was just like,
Okay.
Like for example, the other one was called Casualty, I think. You'll throw that one on, and I don't know about you guys, but that to me, all of it was like, why? Like
I ain't been up on that shit. I don't know. This is my first time even listening to the new version.
Me too.
That's what it is.
You said it like that.
We're on the same page right now.
I'm glad they at least out here doing shit for real.
Yeah.
What was the other one you said? Good save.
Casualty is the other one.
Casualty.
I think it's called Casualty.
That's huge. Click on that freaking page too. Is that it's got a video yet? Let's look it up. Oh.
The internet's watching you type right now.
I know.
No pressure.
None at all, right? I would say this definitely reminds me of way less of Linkin Park than the last one. Right off rip.
Right. Yeah.
The other one had the padded sound.
Just listen to like the way the song goes. It just.
Oh, I like this. Yeah, I like this.
Y'all like this?
I like this. I like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just an asshole.
I'm not sure. I like the other one better.
I don't mind her part, but like I'm not trying to hate. Like it just sounds a little off, forced.
It's got a way different sound than I'm used to out of them.
To be fair, I didn't finish the song. I skipped it, unfortunately.
He was like, all right, I'm done.
I can get a little head bob to it. I definitely get what you were saying though about the sound of this song for Linkin Park though. Like,
yeah, don't get me wrong. Like it just seems like
it's definitely different. But I fucks with that.
I
actually really like that one though, for real.
Yeah, the sound is totally different than what I'm used
that's
to.
Why that's why I'm stoked they're back. Like they're gonna keep putting music out there, and just because I don't like it doesn't mean somebody's not gonna enjoy the fuck out of it.
This is the beauty of music, ain't it, Midnight?
Yeah, man.
Cause that shit right there, I might actually like that better than the other song, honestly.
The flesh underneath your skin being cooked as hundreds of millions of volts of electricity rip through your body. Barely a second later, you're left with hair
I'm actually
and
gonna
clothes burnt to ash, and a body throbbing with pain.
All right, my boy.
But despite the fact that you're still alive, being what most would consider a miracle, you don't feel relief or gratitude towards your good fortune. Just
Should we finish the Nick Crowley one then, quick? Or do you want to wait?
Anger, frustration, and despair.
I would rather watch something else first.
Put this down here. You want to do the death battle?
Yeah.
This one seems like a fun one. I just threw over here. I didn't get to talk a bunch to set it up. I don't know if you seemed like an interesting. What finally killed the unkillable man? Just Daruda in there. This is one of those random ones that we'd be finding, you know.
All right.
Where the hell? There, move up so I don't forget about it.
Those be interesting. I can't even I'm not hating on those videos because that'd be interesting for real.
I like Brew. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I've watched a few.
This battle is sponsored by Marvel Snap and Prize Picks.
Plus, you be the ones finding the videos, so.
We work together. We work together.
Dr. Eggman, the
I
king
use
of the Koopas
everything
and the
that
baddest
we
of badniks.
brought through our
not
time
wrong.
here, then try and find new ones if possible.
And it's our job to
You know
analyze
what I
their
mean?
weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win.
I want stuff to be. If I think about it, I want to make sure that you like it too.
The Mushroom Kingdom.
A
peaceful land of kindness, adventure.
It's not
love.
most stuff I've been
Move
going
aside,
to.
princess. It's time this place got way more awesome. Here
It's the
comes
same
King
taste.
Koopa
They
himself,
overlap.
better known as Bowser.
And then when you suggest yours, like
was found
those
by
start
Granny,
ending up
it
in
was
my
clear Bowser would command the
rotation,
disparate
so I can
outcasts
start,
of the mushroom world.
watching some of the people that you be watching, and, bring some of those over
And they
too,
treat these
like a
critters
Tuesday
like
and stuff.
monsters, fated to a life of
That'd
infinite
be
junk
wild.
farming for one of
Leon, a Tuesday.
Bowser wanted a different world.
Bowser.
Princess Peach Toadstool would never allow the evil king's day in the sun. Her light was so bright, Bowser became infatuated with her. So he turned all the toads into bricks and kidnapped her, putting their princess in another castle, and another, like 40 years.
Like a lot,
castles,
yeah, a lot of
only to be
castles.
Released if she agrees to marry him and his dad bud. Yet he was foiled time and time again by those pesky Mario brothers. However, Bowser is nothing if
I
not
still gotta beat his ass in this fucking game, bro.
Do you?
Yeah, bro. I've been
That spike
putting
shell
it
takes
off.
a lot of punishment. Not even the weight of a cat.
Bowser's always hard, man.
Yeah, that's the
when he
thing.
rolls
I
up
know
like
it's
a
gonna be some
prehistoric
bullshit.
Beyblade. speed. And the Koopa King doesn't just breathe fire and control.
Yeah, he's got a lot of
shit. I might stream
nature
it too.
itself, spitting meteors from outer space, beckoning the earth with a
so I can try and watch it.
hailing torrents of wind, straight up calling down lightning. What else has he got?
I wonder if
He's got a lot.
Nintendo has
Dabbling
Discord.
in dark magic.
Hell, he's got so much shit.
The original
Holy
NES manual even describes him as a sorcerer king. Magic is how he turned the toads into bricks, only countered by the princess's heart magic. But that's not all the magic he's mastered. Telekinesis, creating perfect clones, reanimating his undead skeleton, and worst of all, ruining every game of Mario Party. Hey, no. I stole those coins fair and square. Bowser spent decades hoarding treasures, coins, magic star rods,
That's hilarious.
cars, you name it. This is the same guy that created multiple flying castles fashioned after his own face. Yeah, he's definitely got an ego on him. He's talked about having a 4-digit IQ, but I've seen this moron put death traps in his own backyard. A man after my own heart.
Yeah, and then that, the old bridge.
Bowser's charisma and leadership brought many to his side. Not enough to defeat Mario, but his army doesn't make it easy on the Red Plumber. They're the most wicked band of misfits this side of World 8-4. The Koopa Troop, an army spanning multiple territories across the Mushroom World and beyond. Goombas, Koopas, the Troopas, and the others make up.
Oh, so this is gonna include all the infantry and stuff too of these guys?
Even in race cars.
All the little bots and stuff?
I mean, Piranha plants
we dealing with
use their
Koopa.
surroundings to get the jump on unsuspecting
Bowser,
prey.
yeah.
Land, sea, or
Well, and Eggman too, right? Because he's got a bunch of little like random bots and shit throughout the years.
It was imperative for Bowser to nurture a unit that covers their own vulnerabilities. For example, Kamek and King Boo both have magic, but Boo has battlefield control with illusions and destabilizing dimensions, while Kamek focuses on
probably why they got so much to go into too. 40 fucking years of Bowser, 40, 50 years of Bowser.
What's
Speaking
happening
of
now?
items, most of the minions can use pretty much any power-up Mario can. The Goombas make frequent use of Tanuki Tails, and Bowser can really get into the catwalk play.
Discord
But as the Koopa Troop grew and grew, it started to feel less like an army and more like a family unit. Oh, you mean like his kids, the Koopalings?
Always something, bro.
Good
Always
point.
fucking
Bowser
something.
took them in and even trained them in dark magic. Though no one's as spoiled as his natural Nepo baby, Bowser Jr.
Bowser Jr.
Spoiled is an understatement. Remember his escapades as Shadow Mario? He terrorized Delfino Plaza with literal evil paint. That whole debacle was basically his attempt at elementary school art class. And I bet Bowser still has some on the fridge. But really, the king is very protective of his kids. If the fam's in trouble, he can will himself to transform into a giant kaiju. All to crush whatever bully's target smack. Maybe a little overkill. Just one punch from Giant Bowser launched a castle out of orbit. Taking into account the flight path and the scale of their universe, Bowser's punch must have hit with a force of
This is the fun stuff.
trillion.
When we getting back into the extra shit, how strong he actually is and shit.
Raphael the Raven so hard he exploded into a constellation of stars.
Holy
This
shit.
Isn't even close to Bowser's full strength. So don't bully his kid, especially if he falls into some of Bowser Jr.'s set of black.
I don't know if Eggman's got a chance if this is what we're talking about, bro.
Dark Fury. A form whose very
This kind of power is insane.
natural disaster.
Hey man,
Okay,
Bowser.
seriously, how does Mario ever
Matt, you're right, but I don't know if we've ever seen these things quite out of Eggman, right?
one big turtle? We're not even to the best part.
that's
Bowser's
a good
dark
question.
magic became so
I remember
he
the egg.
eventually learned how to
We're gonna
warp
see.
the
Yeah,
very
because I remember a
We'll
couple
see.
things.
anything the king imagines, he makes happen. He turned all of Yoshi's Island into a storybook. And remember
Damn.
those painted worlds in Mario 64?
Yeah, I remember those.
He made those. And the staircase that goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Oh, God, does anyone
God, that
remember the
staircase,
He also
man.
stole ultra-powerful items like the Wonder Flower, which can mold reality like Play-Doh, and the Dream Stone, which can be used to wish someone out of existence. But his most iconic thefts are those big shiny power stars. Don't judge a book by its cover. Infant power stars, aka Lumas, can become whole galaxies.
Holy
They also
shit.
ferried Mario across the universe in 3 seconds.
Holy
That's
shit.
489 quadrillion
Yeah,
times
bro,
light
no
speed.
joke. Them
Obviously,
stars
the
ain't no
Big
joke.
Daddy Grand Stars are even crazier. Bowser used one to power his space kingdom, but then guess who showed up to ruin everything? it's a him. And when the Grand
It's a
Star was
plumber.
freed,
Mario.
it caused a chain reaction that destroyed the entire universe.
This plumbing business must be going crazy though. How many times they say this fucking universe? Fucking booming.
Not that Bowser
Booming.
needed
Everybody
He's
calls
been swallowed by another black hole and thrown into a star that went supernova. Imagine if this crazy OP fire turtle had to fight himself. Oh wait, he did, and he beat the hell out of him.
He beat the hell out of himself.
It's no wonder he still hasn't conquered the
Beat
Mushroom
this shit
Kingdom.
out. Yeah, for real.
It's because his visions of grandeur were never really what he sought. Surrounding him is a crew of outcasts and
Idiots.
miscreants like him. Ride or dies that can't be swayed against him. Oh, are you saying he's secretly happy because he's got a big monster family now? Yes.
Kinda.
But also, when they actually worked together, they legitimately conquered most of the known universe. So, he's a baddie through and through who will teleport through space and time
So
to show
you watch your mouth when you
what,
talk about
because
Bowser.
he's no ordinary
Bowser,
goofball.
you some bitch.
Way for the king.
Bowser's a goon. Right?
This battle is sponsored by
Goon,
Prize
an
Picks.
absolute
Prize Picks
goon,
is the best
bruh.
place to get real money sports
Prize
action.
Picks.
And it's
I got some bets going.
sports is super easy to you do. Like how
Let me
it's
guess.
fast, safe, and
you're
secure. I
betting
can get my
on
money in as little as 15
Tiny
minutes
Dancer
after you play your
VodCast to
first
become one of the
$5
most
lineup.
viral things
That's
in the
code
world.
PrizePicks.
Help us out,
Definitely
guys.
Game.
Share us
Definitely,
to your friends. Let us know.
Citizens of
Please,
Earth,
thank you.
lend me your ears.
Here we go.
Endless possibilities
Sonic.
where people are free
Meow.
to win. Isn't it disgusting? Now imagine a
There he is.
one with proper guidance and the technology
With his big ass
to bring about
mustache.
global peace. But Wiz, only a brilliant mind can make that happen. Not just any brilliant mind. He's a genius at heart who knows the dangers within. He's Ivo Robotnik, Dr. Eggman. As a mad scientist myself,
hate
his
both of
story
these
is
guys,
my
honestly.
inspiration, just as Eggman's was his grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, who sought to create world peace through technology. But then his beloved granddaughter, Maria, was killed by the Guardian Unit of Nations, better known as Gun. They're frickin' called
Gun,
G-U-N.
yep, baby.
Anyway, Lil Eggy grew up a lonely
What do you say?
narcissist because
What do you?
all his family
What
talked
are you on?
about was
What is
Maria
it?
this, Maria
Guns up.
that.
Guns.
Boom.
Guns up.
Neglect and envy
Sorry, I couldn't
tainted
remember.
Ivo's goals of following Gerald's footsteps. He distanced himself from his
You
grandfather's
remember.
legacy. Instead of
Eh.
bettering the world, he would conquer it.
I didn't remember, man.
Attention he deserved.
I thought they were down.
Craved. Desperately craved.
Oh.
Tomato, tomato.
Guns down? Oh, up.
He aimed to establish Eggman
Down?
Land, a capital
Got field
of
goal?
science. And this paradise would have worked just fine.
Remember
if
flick
not for
field
the
goal?
plastic
Yeah,
Sonic
remember?
the Hedgehog. For
I do.
years, Eggman's
Did you guys do the big one?
blew up in
Or
his
the little
face.
one?
And he's a very sore
depends.
loser.
I
But
did-
just
I
like
did
any
the
good
little one. We
experiment,
did the
the
little one.
doctor did more testing, seeking
Mostly
better
the little
results. He's created
Every now and again, you know, you could, you know,
terrorize the
yeah,
world with a
the
laser
big
gun,
one.
a cloning ray.
If we were going for a long field goal contest, maybe you did the
Typical
big
evil
one.
scientist stuff.
The little one was the little. This is NFL right here.
Spatial displacement trap, which, while online, scatters a target's atoms
That shit used to be fun as hell.
Oh, and then there's the metal virus, which
Launching that fucker, trying to get a long field goal.
Hit somebody in the eye.
zombies. It's
Ah.
so deadly, it
Oh, that
created
was-
a plague that nearly wiped out
Man,
all life.
you remember, that used to be an art. You put the tape around it on the outside so it wouldn't break, and then it would get a little extra distance. Come on, you know?
It's lightweight for maneuverability, but
Oh.
tough enough to withstand moon-sized explosions and even the.
Then they even gave you little kits you could buy, a little plastic one.
Looking, but he can't
I got one of those, man, boys. I had a professional little.
or the death egg robot, whose giant
I
laser
bet
was
you
a weight of
did.
77,000 cubic meters of rock in an instant.
You didn't want to see me on a court, on a field, on a table, on a bookshelf, on whatever we play on. I whoop your ass.
I know, bro, because you cheated at trivia track, bro.
Sources like the wisps, and then
Oh
there's
man, bro, I got
cheated.
your ass
You
with the
cheated.
quick.
I've been beating everybody too. I've been beating the shit out of everybody.
And I'm
I
ahead
want
of
you
your
to
ass
know
on
that.
this
I
one,
know. I
too.
want you to know that. I've
And
been
I'm
beating the
ahead
shit
of
out
your
of
ass on
everybody,
this
bro.
one.
That's not to say
They had to stop me. I was on a roll. I got 3 in one turn. They said, "Hey, bro, you're only allowed to get 3 in the
Damn,
first
bro,
turn."
it's so stupid, man. I've been beating people like 6-2, 6-1. Then this motherfucker gets lucky as shit.
Lucky?
Lucky.
I'm beating you again. second. I'm beating you in the
It
follow-up
just started.
games.
You just started that one, bro.
And they told me to calm down because I got 3
Because you cheating, bro.
They said, hey, bro, you can only get 3.
I mean, he's a feminist.
We gotta do a best out of 7 series now.
We can do a best out of 100.
Sought revenge against Shadow, but it counts.
I ain't going.
Sort of.
Shadow?
Well, who needs friends when you can build friends?
Obviously, Eggman has a tough time collaborating with others, so he just built his own army instead.
Yeah?
The Eggman Empire.
The badness.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Yep.
Buzz bombers, crab meat, caterpillars, egg robots,
Oh,
and
these,
don't forget
Jesus
those
Christ.
Moto bugs. The
See, that's what I'm
badniks may
saying.
seem
I
simple,
remember.
but they're led by an
So much shit, man. I forgot about some of
boiled
them.
heavies. Really leaning into the egg thing, huh?
Yep,
And he's
really,
got a Metal Sonic.
Even your classic comedy duo,
Metal Sonic.
Robot and Cubot. Their
That could come up big.
Immense disappointment.
Metal Sonic?
Every genius has their duds.
Hey, at least
Come
they're
on,
not
real big.
scratch and ground.
Did he had something to do with Shadow, didn't he?
Top-notch bots modeled after the
I
Sonic
believe so,
cast,
yeah.
like everyone's favorite.
He had something to do with Shadow.
Metal Sonic.
Metal Sonic has the most horsepower in the Eggman Empire. He has the moves and speed of Sonic, and then
Almost.
He's had his rebellious phases, but Eggman's reprogrammed Metal to better follow his commands. Additionally, when upgraded to his Neo form, Metal Sonic could copy biological data, including unique
Metal
powers
Sonic,
like
bro.
Shadow's time stop technique, chaos control.
He can
Oh,
even
shit.
copy
Almost
Silver's
as good as Sonic.
psychokinesis. And with enough chaos energy, he powers up into Super
Almost.
Neo Metal Sonic.
Almost.
Though everything would change with the appearance of the Phantom Ruby. One of many trump cards at Eggman's disposal, the Phantom Ruby alters reality by manipulating perception.
Basically, super OP illusions.
Oh,
When
yeah,
it's
that
in its
shit's
hands,
crazy.
it's a weapon of mass destruction. I don't know how illusions translate to body replicas,
Whoa.
changing gravity, or making a fake sun, but go off, King.
And when used on the planet's consciousness, which is a thing, the Ruby granted Eggman the Lightman form.
Oh, there he is.
Apparently, Super Eggman is canon, though it is pretty complicated to manage.
Is canon? Oh my god.
The only souped-up gem Eggman has.
Oh my God.
Just use the jeweled scepter to make the world
canon? Yeah, it's canon. Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Then, on more than one occasion, he's effortlessly gathered the super rare, super powerful Chaos Emeralds. You know, the things that power Super Saiyan Hedgehog.
Eggman built and built, and eventually he built something that started to build on him. Sage was originally designed as a mere assistant, but through an alien encounter, she was granted actual sentience.
Sage is already super powerful, but now she's also super smart. She thought up millions of battle plans all at once to defeat the massive titans.
And you can barely remember where you put your dune bug.
I know exactly where it is. It's at the police impound. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Sage
much.
was
Yes,
Eggman's
sir.
saving
Safe
grace.
and sound.
He had previously found machines with personality lacking, but Sage's great adequacy in serving her function provided Eggman with something that, for the first time, he'd hate to lose. In essence, a sort of
Daughter?
So, like any good dad, he gave her the keys to his car, his spaceship, and his orbital death ray. Hell, now she controls the entire army.
And this frankly unheard of trust from Eggman became crucial in defeating the End, a primordial entity so mighty even Super Sonic.
Jesus Christ.
Their battle can only
Yeah,
be
this is the
described
one
as
of
peak
the
fiction,
latest Sonic
'cause charged by
games.
7
Oh,
Chaos Emeralds, Super Sonic's no
I haven't
joke.
got
The
into
power
these
of
last
one
couple.
emerald can shift continents. All 7 together can
I think it
shift
came
the
out like
universe.
2 years ago.
And kill some pretty terrifying bosses.
Did you play that when it came out a little bit?
No, I wish I did.
Apart
No, I
space-time
wish I
like
did.
tissue paper.
In short, Chaos
I love
Emeralds give
Sonic, though.
thoughts power. With them,
Yeah,
Eggman's
I don't know why I haven't
can run
played the newest
indefinitely
ones.
while matching
Probably because they're not on
powers
like
of a sea,
PlayStation or
like with
Xbox.
3
Yeah,
supers
like
battled
they
Solaris, who
it's-
tried to destroy
it's a-
time itself.
it's a
Solaris
whole thing
extended
with
its
Sonic.
chaos across multiple timelines in about 12
And Mario.
or
Man.
73 quadrillion times light speed.
It's funny though.
That's still not as fast as that damn star.
Defeated Sonic here and there. He's pretty effective when he teams up with the Blue Blur to save the world.
Well, recall how Professor Gerald was a good person before losing the granddaughter he loved.
true,
In
true.
Eggman's case, now that he has Sage, perhaps a similar story is playing out in reverse.
That's probably what they're going for a little bit.
Always
I
have a
know, bro,
harebrained
because they
scheme
gotta
behind
find
his
somewhere to go.
cufflinks.
So watch out, critters and plebeians of the world. He is the Eggman, and he's got the master plan.
Prize Big Time, bro. Who you got?
Help me
Hey, what happened now? I'm addicted to Marvel Snap. You mean today's sponsor, the
I'll give you +1 on. I give you +1 on. No.
Yeah, exactly. Over or under 1 knockout for half. It's got to be half knockout because if it's 1, then you can't make any money because it's only going to be 1. So over under 1/2.
I don't know anything about gambling. I was just joking.
So I'm letting you know. I'm teaching you.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's got to be over under 0.5 knockout because there's only going to be 1. If you put it at 1, no one's going to bet on it because there's no money.
I know, right?
So it's got to be 0.5 knockout.
Low-cost cards, then
I'm going to say Bowser's the favorite, so I'm going to go against Bowser.
Well, mine's got a big dinosaur.
I just don't think Bowser's going to lose.
Download the Marvel Snap app, now available on the App Store, Google Play, and Steam. Or visit
man.
to learn more. Just click the link
You
below
better.
the link button.
This is your prize pick money, bro. You better choose wisely.
No, for real. Hey, man, I won
All right,
I won a few bets today.
Okay, that's cool. You about to lose it right now if you don't choose wisely. No, I'm just...
I already chose, bro. I gave my best effort, man. Oh, that game over. Oh, it's over. He ended with 74 yards, 75 yards. I needed 77.
Wow, Craig.
Upcoming Eggman Land 2.
Wow.
What a joke.
You feel like me right now, huh?
A little bit. It sucks because in the first you started off with like fucking 40 in the first quarter.
That's fair. I'm like, this is happening.
I was like, all right, we're looking good. I was like, we're looking good. Looking good. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Nerd.
Yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I want to cry earlier.
Why? Oh, that did. Bro, that literally happened to my team dropping us last week. I told you. The same exact thing happened to the Broncos last week. The same thing. March down the field. Easy chip shot field goal for the win against the team you're supposed to get your ass kicked by. And they blocked. This fight seems like it's getting pretty crazy pretty quick, by the way.
Oh, there's there go my boy. Ooh. He's a bitch, though. That's not my boy. That's not
my boy, man. I've been squished so many times. Can't. Oh, shit.
Anyway,
there's so much going on.
Dude, Mario Party shit, bro. There's all kind of shit happening, bro.
Oh shit.
Bowser Jr.
You've lost the battle before it has begun.
There he goes.
Work is always better. Ready to wrap this up, Sage?
As you command.
Sage, the robot from Sonic 2 and Metal Sonic.
Oh shit.
Universe destroying Bowser.
Is that who that is? Jesus
Pretty much.
Christ.
This motherfucker, like they say, he destroyed universe. That star holds a lot of power, dog.
That's what I'm saying. Oh boy.
Sage. Golden Metal Sonic.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, because he got the wizard. Oh yeah, the wizard's not gonna be able to do shit here.
There goes the wizard. Oh wait. Oh, wasn't that Bowser Jr.? Uh-oh. 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 He's about to go.
Uh-oh. There you go. He got one of the stores.
Oh boy. This is fucking epic.
There go the emeralds. She can only, she's the only one that can save it, for real.
Yeah. Oh, is that a planet? Is that his planet or whatever? Jesus Christ. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Damn, this shit crazy.
Damn. Ooh. Oh yeah, his skeleton can come back. I forgot.
Them boys. Damn, Robotnik.
Run!
Damn, Robotnik. Damn, Robotnik. He turned his gun into the Paper Mario gun, bro. What?
This war was not an easy one to win, which
He
might
turned
seem
his
surprising
gun
given
to
how
some
Sonic's
paper
series is
shit,
not afraid
bro.
to show how tough his cast is, while Mario's comes across as more cartoony. But as it turns out, Bowser had everything he needed
He
to
has
take
so
Chrome
much
Dome
stuff.
down.
Holy
Strap
shit.
in. This one's a lot, so we'll break it down into 5 categories. First
a
up
lot.
is physical
Holy
stats.
shit.
Bowser pretty handedly outmatched
Whoa.
any of Eggman's usual mechs, like the Egg Dragoon or the Death Egg Robot. The Death Egg Robot could level cities. Bowser could punch a castle out of orbit.
Exactly.
The Death Egg could destroy stars, but Yoshi could match that level of power. And Bowser's strength is certainly above the green dinosaurs. Plus, while both Bowser and Eggman's tech survive black holes, Bowser's
The song goes hard, by the way.
So, he may win stats, but this could change with their powers. With so many items,
Someone needs to get this for their entrance for wrestling.
aside from power-up items, both could manipulate minds, create duplicates, and alter space-time. However, Bowser had a significant edge in having access to the majority of his abilities at all times. Yeah, Eggman can do some crazy stuff, but only across different mechs, fortresses, or space bases. Bowser's all natural. He's got all his best powers built in, and he ain't even a robot. Meaning he wins the war of attrition. He even had counters for battle enders like the metal virus and spatial displacement trap. Context matters for those weapons, and both backfired in the past. But more importantly, Bowser could simply reverse the effects with his transmutation magic. Conversely, most of Eggman's robots could get turned into, say, a frog or a block with no reliable way back. Bowser takes the edge in powers. But definitely not for intelligence. Come on, you have a 4-digit IQ, Bowser? Really? That's cute. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bowser's not an idiot. Usually, just really clumsy. Poor fella. Meanwhile, Eggman's an engineering genius who rarely ever gets bested by brains. Easy dub. Now, let's talk trump cards. As in, items so powerful they could decide the entire outcome on their own.
Chaos
Phantom Ruby
Emeralds.
was super dangerous, but specifically targets perception.
star seems pretty
Unlike
fucking
Bowser's
crazy.
Wonder Flower, which mucks up reality for real. The Ruby affected a whole planet, but the Wonder Flower had the power to alter the universe. Also, the Dream Stone's ability to wish anything out of existence would have no problem cleaning up Super Neo Metal Sonic or Time Eater. Their most prized possessions was a tougher call. Together, the Chaos Emeralds can break the universe, but so can the Grand Stars. Arguably not as much given the Emerald scaling to Solaris, though Power Stars and Grand Stars are far more plentiful. Clearly, this is getting fairly abstract, and both had multiple options that could win the day instantly, so the safest bet is to call this category a tie. Which means it's finally time to compare their armies. Eggman seems deadlier at first glance. I mean, look at all those buzzsaws and rockets.
Yeah, he got
Metal Sonic
Sage
speed
and Metal
power alone
Sonic.
could solo most of the Koopa Troop, but the Eggman Empire
He's got things that like shoot a lot.
teamwork and loyalty. Eggman is a notoriously terrible team player. His alliances are practically guaranteed to fall apart. Hell, in Sonic Generations, he could barely manage working with himself. Eggman's army is designed to be controlled by just him. To Eggman, it's harder to command those with free will, hence his rivalry with the free-natured Sonic. Meanwhile, the Koopa Troop follows Bowser because they actually like him. They train really hard to cover each other's weak points, giving them plenty of advantages as this war progressed, like battlefield control through King Boo's magic and Bowser Jr.'s paint. And since the Koopa Troop doesn't rely that much on technology, Sage's hacking potential had little use. Also, secret weapon? Kamek is kind of busted, canceling Metal Sonic's power copy, stealing the Phantom Ruby, and potentially swapping the Chaos Emeralds were huge game
He
changers.
really is,
Bowser
bro.
and his army can use
That
any
nigga can do
Mario power-up
anything.
item, and they had millions, no, billions of combinations that the Eggman Empire just could not actively plan against. Even with Sage's millions of plans to take down the Titans, she thought them to be unbeatable, which Sonic proved was incorrect.
Right.
Just comparing their conquests makes it clear. The Eggman Empire took over the whole planet.
All right, I see y'all get with that one. I get that one.
The universe. Eggman was no pushover. His wit, power output, and ridiculous machines gave Bowser the biggest fight of his life. But the Koopa King's ludicrous strength, abilities, and united forces ultimately prevailed.
The Koopa Kingdom, man.
To poach the king, and now he's
the reason why they on top,
so loyal.
The winner.
I didn't realize they were so loyal.
Yeah.
Thought they were mostly just scared.
Shit, man. As we can see.
Among Us is on Death Battle. Among Us versus Fall Guys.
Oh, that's tight.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
What? That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy.
Whoa, chill out, homie.
Yeah, that's gonna be fucking wild.
I'm stoked for that one.
I know you are.
I'm stoked for that one.
Everybody usually get that one that they can nerd out on. Like, yes.
I'm mostly excited for the Fall Guys because I'm curious as fuck to what they're gonna say. But I don't really know what abilities or powers they have besides falling over. And
They're resilient as fuck.
They are. Oh, they're resilient. Okay, so they can take a punishment.
So if that's of interest to you,
but that
the
slime
next
kills.
button asks you to edit one of their YouTube videos.
That Pepto-Bismol will be killed.
But then just permanently delete their channel. Also, please subscribe to our channel.
Oh,
and
shit.
all notifications so you
stress
don't miss any of our weekly uploads. Okay, let's get into today's story.
So all I've got are Ballin, that one brew, and then Crowley left, like of choices that I have laid out. I don't know if we want to look. We want to look for any gamer rage or look for anything different to round it out.
On the morning of August 7th, 1981,
I mean, we
34-year-old wildlife
good
photographer
because we're already in
Carl
the
McCunn
second half because now
in
here
the
come
Alaskan wilderness and
the
chucked a box
shit
of
now.
ammunition into the water. The splash it made was surprisingly loud in the total
At this point, we already this
Carl
is
was
where
on
we
the last day
usually
of a 5-month-long solo camping trip in a very remote area of northern Alaska that was actually inside the Arctic Circle. A plane had dropped him off here in early spring, and he had set up his tent by this lake, which was surrounded on all sides by forest and huge snowy
This story
mountains.
may save
And
your
during
life.
this 5-month trip, Carl had not seen or spoken to another person the entire time. There were no phones, no roads, no rangers, no people around for at least 100 miles. I mean, this is true isolation. Carl looked up into the sky and listened carefully for the low roar of the plane that was supposed to pick him up today. But as he listened, he couldn't hear anything. But this didn't worry Carl, because he actually had only arranged for his pickup date, not the pickup time. So it was just at some point on this day he was going to get picked up. He didn't know exactly when. And so as he anxiously waited, he just kind of puttered around his campsite and continued to pack up his things. And as Carl did this, he remembered that the type of plane that was going to be picking him up today, it was his buddy Rory's plane, it was really small. And there was a chance that he couldn't actually fit all of his belongings on the plane. And so in anticipation of this, he had identified that he didn't need all of his ammo. And so that's why he was chucking his ammo into the lake, basically in preparation for pickup. Just then, a breeze kicked up, and so Carl zipped his parka up to his chin. This was actually the so-called warm season.
Need to like throw it in the water though.
Warm in the Arctic Circle meant still near freezing temperatures at night. And as much as Carl loved being out in the wilderness, doing these solo camping trips out in the middle of nowhere, he really was excited to get back to his home in Anchorage, Alaska, and see his friends and call his dad and, be in a nice warm house for once. Carl was about to chuck his 6th and final box of ammunition into the lake when he heard the loud sound of a wolf howling on the other side of the lake. And it made him stop for a second, and he decided that, you know what, maybe until the plane gets here, I'll hold on to at least one box of ammunition. So he took this final box into his bag, he picked it up, and then he walked along the shoreline up to where he had rigged a net to catch some fish. And when he got to the net, he saw he had caught 2 trout.
Hey,
so
there
he
we go.
scooped the fish out, he went back to his campsite, he made a fire, cooked the fish, and as he sat down to eat them, he just kept looking up to the sky and listening, hoping for this plane to arrive soon. When he was done eating, Carl made a quick entry into his diary, kind of detailing the last day at camp, and then he finished packing up all his stuff, and he brought it all down to the waterline, ready to be picked up, and then he sat on his trunk, again, just kind of waiting for his friend to show up. And by this time, it was about mid-afternoon, and still no sign of the plane. But nonetheless, Carl sat there kind of taking in the scene.
It's not good, Jimmy. This is not good.
I mean, this is the last time he's going to be here.
Usually
So he's
not.
trying to appreciate it. After all, this had been a really successful photography trip. He had shot 500 rolls of film that he knew he could sell, and that would make enough money that he'd be able to do this again the following year. And so as Carl sat there, taking in the scene and daydreaming about next year's trip, he noticed the sun was beginning to set. And when he noticed this was kind of like the first time that Carl actually became worried. This far north, the sun stayed out for nearly 20 hours a day in the summer.
Oh God,
And
so
if
it's
the
like
sun was
late.
setting right now, that meant it had to be near midnight. And so his friend Rory, who was supposed to pick him up today, at some point today, well, now that we've hit midnight, Carl knew his friend had officially missed the date. And Carl had no way of contacting him to see what had happened or when he would be here. And so as dusk fell, and still there was no sign of Rory, Carl continued to get more and more anxious. And finally, he had to reset up his tent, and he crawled inside, got in a sleeping bag, and went to sleep praying that his friend would be there the next day. The next day, Carl got up early and packed up his stuff and waited by the shoreline for his friend, but all day he waited, and the plane still never came. Carl tried to convince himself that, maybe his friend got mixed up on the dates, or, maybe something came up that's delayed him a couple of days, but he'll be here. But then another day came and went, and then another, and still no plane. And it was around this time that Carl remembered something that made him feel sick to his stomach. On the night 6 months earlier, when he and Rory had discussed pickup plans, Carl remembered that night had been filled with drinking. And
They were drunk as
laughing and
fuck.
having a good time. And at some point, as the beers were flowing, Carl had asked Rory, hey, can you pick me up on August 7th at the end of my trip? And Rory had said, yeah, I can probably do that.
While you're
Rory
drunk
had
as
also
fuck.
said that he would have to check his schedule first before he could 100% commit to this. And Carl, in his excitement about going on this trip and getting ready for it and all that, had just forgotten to follow up with Rory and make absolutely sure he could pick him up. And so now Carl was realizing that Rory wasn't delayed or mixed up about
coming.
Rory wasn't coming. And Carl knew of another plane happening to fly over the area.
Homie threw all his ammo in the water because he's a smart dude.
Out here, he had literally not seen any planes.
really.
His best hope was that his dad or maybe one of his friends would report him missing. But he knew that was unlikely, and it
I'll
actually
send
was.
Zorro out. He'll find help for
Carl
us.
traveled constantly and almost
Zorro.
never
Stuck in the
told
woods.
people where he
Please.
was going
We
or
need
when
you to
he'd
go
be
get
back.
stuff for
And
us,
on one trip recently, Carl had gone out and missed his return date,
he's just
and
gonna
his
sit
dad had
in
been
the
concerned
chair.
about
Yeah,
him.
I
And so
can
called the
understand that.
police, and when Carl had come back and realized what his
Yeah, he's
dad
just
did,
standing there.
he
I think we're
told his
done.
dad
think it's
to
over.
never do
I
that again.
agree.
Never contact authorities if I'm late. I'm fine. And all of this meant now Carl was going to face a brutal Alaskan
You're not supposed to
winter
be going,
all
go
by himself,
that way, Zorro.
with limited supplies and only a single box of
go get
ammunition.
Go find help.
He's like, wait, what? Hey, where? What?
Hey, it's Mr. Ballin here, and I am so excited
there
to
he
tell
goes.
you all about a
He's gotta
brand
go
new
find help.
podcast from Ballin Studios called
He lay
Redacted
down on the ground, right?
Declassified
Like right
Mysteries,
there.
hosted by the incredible Luke Lamont.
Hey,
From
man.
covert government experiments
Oh, this
to
looks
bizarre
cool.
assassination attempts, Redacted dives
is his
deep
other
into the
series
astonishing
about,
true
like,
stories
government
on
cover-ups
secrets,
and stuff like
lies,
that.
and deception
This
within
is
the
his other-
world's
his
most
new
powerful
program.
institutions. Governments and military
The Ballin
services
brain
around
is
the
growing.
globe have always cloaked themselves in secrecy.
Yeah,
But history
I'm pretty
shows
sure I
that when you
hate it.
try too hard to hide something, it only makes
I
people
really wanna
more
see this
curious.
one.
Luke and his
This one
team
looks
have
good.
spent months researching these totally true and thoroughly twisted tales, guaranteed to keep you on the edge of your seat. Stories like the mind-bending truth behind Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were smuggled into America to advance US technology and intelligence during the Cold War. Or the shocking story of Charles Manson and the CIA, revealing how a notorious cult leader might have been entangled in a web of covert operations. Trust me when I tell you, the stories are real and the secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted
Yeah, I hate it.
Declassified Mysteries with Luke Lamana on the Wondery app or wherever else you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Spotify. A few weeks later, at the end of August, Carl was still stuck out in the Alaskan wilderness. By now,
few
Carl
weeks
had
later,
fully accepted
Jesus
that
Christ.
Rory was not going to come pick him up.
I hate this
and Carl
too.
was doing his best not to fixate on his
That
stupid
sucks,
mistake.
man.
He figured he had two choices. The first one was that he could just stay put and hope to be rescued. This was the conservative option. He knew how to get food and also firewood near his campsite, so he wouldn't starve to death and he wouldn't freeze. But this would only keep him alive. This would not actually get him rescued. The other choice was that Carl could pack up his campsite and attempt to basically hike out of here 75 miles to the nearest city, called Fort Yukon. Now, this could get him home, but with it came a much higher chance of death. If Carl did the hike, well, those 75 miles would be over extremely rough terrain with absolutely zero human-made trails. And so one little slip up and he could fall and get hurt or get lost. And also finding food was sort of a toss-up, and the weather at best would be brutal and at worst would be fatal. Plus, the entire region those 75 miles was absolutely teeming with wolves. Carl knew both of these choices were bad. But he was running out of time to make a decision. The brutal Arctic winter was fast approaching, and if Carl was going to attempt this horrible hike, he
Carl,
really
next time let's camp at an area that's more well traveled.
Carl thought about what he was going to do, he trudged his way over to one of his rabbit snares, and he was so happy to see he had caught a rabbit. And so he took the rabbit back to his camp, cooked it over the fire, and as he's eating it, he's thinking, you know what, this isn't so bad.
I was talking to Carl.
For now, I mean, this will keep me alive at least for a couple of days. You know, maybe I should just stay here. But deep down, he knew the staying put option was not a real option. I mean, even though, yes, by staying here, he could keep himself from starving, you know, he knew how to get food and all that, well, he'd still be a sitting duck for all the predators in the area, and there were many, and remember, he only has one box of ammunition. But just then, Carl heard the most glorious sound, the distant whine of a small plane engine. At first, he thought he must be hearing things. Remember, he has not seen a plane at all since he got here. But sure enough, he looked up into the sky, and a second later, he saw a plane flying directly towards his camp, low and slow. Carl ran in his tent and grabbed the most brightly colored thing he could find, his sleeping bag, which was bright orange. He ran outside of his tent and began waving it back and forth to get the pilot's attention. Carl saw the plane belonged to the Alaska State Troopers, and so he figured his friends must have reported him missing, and now the police were out to rescue him. A moment later, the plane passed directly over Carl's camp, so low to the ground that Carl could actually see the pilot looking back at him. Carl looked right at the pilot's eyes, and when Carl was nearly certain he had just made eye contact with the pilot, he threw his fist up in the air in excitement and jumped up and down. He couldn't believe it. He was saved. The pilot was going to land and
I have heard this story
With a
before.
big grin on his face, Carl watched as this plane, sure enough, made a big U-turn. And then Carl watched the plane make another pass over the camp, low and slow, which Carl figured meant, you know, the pilot was looking for a place to land. And so as the pilot was doing that, Carl rushed to his campsite and began packing everything up. And as he did, he's kind of keeping an eye out, watching the plane, looking for it to land. But it didn't. The plane just kept on flying straight away from Carl's campsite until it disappeared over the horizon.
I've heard this
For the rest of the day, Carl just stared off into the distance, hoping for this plane to come back.
Yeah.
But it didn't. Lying inside his tent that night, Carl couldn't sleep. He was so shaken up by what had happened that day. He didn't understand, you know, he saw the pilot. The pilot seemed like they were looking back at him. Why didn't they land? Why didn't they stop? Carl told himself that, you know, maybe the terrain was too rough and there was no way for the pilot to land. You know, that was possible. And so perhaps this pilot was flying back and getting another plane, maybe a float plane to land on the water. Carl didn't know, but he felt like that could be a possibility, and it sort of made him feel a little bit better. But he still couldn't relax enough to sleep. And so, knowing he was just going to lay there all night, he sat up, turned on his flashlight, and began looking for something to read, just to occupy his mind. Now, at this point, Carl has been out in the wilderness all alone for months and months, and he's been stranded for weeks. He has read all of his books and all of his magazines like 1,000,000 times. He's even read his diary 12 times. I mean, he's read everything. And so as he was looking around his tent, he was looking for literally anything else to read. And suddenly, he found something. His hunting license. It was like the one thing he had not closely read. Not an exciting thing to read, but new. It was just a little paper certificate with some rules and regulations.
Real photo of someone else's license, not his, guys,
so Carl
not
just
his.
began reading the front, and he read it all the way down, and then he flipped it over, and he continued reading, but then he saw something that made his heart practically stop. At first, he thought maybe he misunderstood, but no, he read it over and over again, and it was very clear. And so Carl looked up in shock. He suddenly understood why that pilot had left him. For weeks, Carl stayed close to his camp, just hoping and praying that somehow, some way, that plane would still come back. But it never did. And by the time Carl had actually accepted this fact that really the plane's not coming back, well, by that point, it was too late to try to hike out. So all he could do was stay put. However,
Damn, he missed his
the lake
window?
had frozen over, so he couldn't fish. His snares all sat empty because all the wolves and foxes got to his catches before he could. By October, Carl was getting really skinny. By November, Carl was genuinely starving. On November 26th, Thanksgiving Day, Carl laid inside of his tent and made a diary entry. There would be no Thanksgiving feast for him today. His food stores were totally gone, and the Arctic winter was getting so bad. In fact, his fingers and toes were turning black from frostbite, and he was sick all the time and constantly had chills. And as Carl
He didn't bring out clothes for that, I'm sure.
Fire, knowing he had no more firewood.
Oh my God.
He knew he only had one choice left to make. He scratched a final sentence into his diary. He wrote, "They say it doesn't hurt." Then he set his diary on the floor of the tent near his rolls of film. Then he reached for his rifle and his last box of ammo. A little while later, a single shot rang out across the lake. A couple months later, in early February of 1982, Alaska State Troopers would find Carl. Carl was deceased. He had taken his own life. What Carl had only realized later was that when he made that fist pump, when he was so excited when that pilot had flown overhead and he thought he was going to get rescued, well, that fist pump had sealed his fate. Because, like it said on Carl's hunting license, a single arm raised in the air is the universally recognized body sign for
I'm all good, bro.
okay.
I'm okay.
Wait.
I'm
And so
good,
when that
dude.
Alaska State Trooper
You can't do that, you fucking idiot!
did make eye contact with Carl. He saw him.
Stupid
He also
fuck.
saw Carl raising his fist in the air and thought he was okay. And so he turned around.
I feel so bad for him, man.
If Carl had only read
so-
that hunting license a little bit sooner, he would have known to have raised two
Oh.
hands as the pilot flew over for the universal sign that means "pick me up."
2 hands, man. 2 hands. Wave your hands. Never.
And now,
fist bump.
here's a clip from the latest episode of Redacted. Enjoy.
Oh.
On May 2nd, 1945.
Bro, but it makes so much sense. The pilot saw him. He's smiling. He's fist bumping. That crazy.
Oh my, bro,
Crazy.
that shit is heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, bro. Heartbreaking, man. Damn it. I'm yelling at him even though he's been dead for a long time, man. Like, damn it, man. Yelling at him.
That shit hurt. That will hurt.
As soon as I heard him like talk about the fist bump thing, I knew I heard this one before. I knew I heard this story. Crazy, dude. Crazy.
That shit fucked up, for real.
Yep. And what makes it even more fucked up is apparently he had the answer right there the whole time. At least like for what on that card, like why? Yeah, he couldn't make anyone fly over him, but he had like, yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah, that one hurts.
Damn, buddy.
R.I.P. to homie.
Man.
R.I.P. to homie. He could still be here. Should still be here.
Alright, you might as well put your fucking put the Nick Crowley on, man.
Get it over with.
Yeah. I'm finna go get some chips. I'll be right back.
Get yourself something. Not have to deal with it again.
Shut up.
Too for Joe and Hobo, because they had a good chance to share also with Sally.
Amen.
And so the Lord's really setting us freer and freer to obey and to be free and to show that sample of freedom and love to the world.
Life with Grandpa was literally created to indoctrinate kids into a pedophilic sex cult, and it makes you realize why exactly it and so many other of the cult's programs were hammering home this point of not questioning your parents or any adults, and to simply obey and smile.
So the right thing is
to obey.
Because the adults in their lives were now suddenly doing unimaginable things to them, and they were being groomed not to question it, making some of the show's segments horrendous in hindsight.
One very special way you can show the big people that you love them is by giving them lots of hugs, kisses, and cuddles. Oh, a child's love and affection really encourages and inspires the big people.
It was normalizing their abuse, and because of this, many children never questioned the horrible assaults that they endured. Assaults that were all fueled and pushed by David Berg's sick perversions.
Created boys and girls able to have kids by about the age of 12 years of age. My God, now he's gonna advocate childhood sex. Yes.
Which were far from theoretical, as Berg himself allegedly partook in this practice repeatedly with his own children and stepchildren, as incest was also a key point of his teachings, and his adult followers rarely dared to question this, as those who refused to partake in Berg's latest teachings were again at risk of removal from the group, which is even more devastating for those who had children, as much like all of their possessions, their kids were pledged and belonged to the family. And the kids themselves couldn't seek help either, as those that refused to trust and obey were sent away to actual prison camps owned by the cult until they were basically reprogrammed.
They made camps. I was sent with my brother to the Philippines. We had armed guards from the Filipino military keeping us in. They would publicly beat you if you asked to leave, then tried to break you and get you to confess.
And the group continuously got away with this too, thanks in large part to Berg's orchestration of the group leaving the United States, which looking back was almost certainly done on purpose. Plus, many members were actually living in hiding. In fact, all of the members were made to change their names upon joining the group, and most were told to never give out their last names, meaning that if any child wanted to report that had happened to them, they would be unable to provide even the names of their abusers. And this included Berg too, who at this point lived most of his life in hiding, going by numerous aliases to avoid detection, aliases like King, Moses, Mo, Dad, and eventually Grandpa. The entire show was about him, David Berg, which is why he was shown as a wise, unquestioned religious-like figure who the children were made to look up to. And that wasn't all, as the characters shown alongside Berg were also members of his real-life family that lived with him in a remote commune. Mother Maria was the nickname of Karen Zerby, David's wife who helped him run the cult and facilitate this era of hypersexualization, while Aunt Sarah was based on Sarah Kelly, the woman in charge of running the prison camp made to punish the kids who dared question the family's beliefs.
Sarah Kelly, who was responsible for me being held against my will in the Philippines.
But the most grotesque detail to come from the revelation of who these characters are was that it showcased David Berg's polygamy, as he was actually married to many people in the real world, and two characters on the show itself, Mother Maria and Davida, his then 5-year-old stepdaughter.
Jesus Christ.
Davida would eventually go on to tell her story, stating that she had been Berg's child bride.
And there was a ceremony with the ring and everything, and once I turned 5 years old was when I was implicated into being one of his queens, so to speak.
Along with allegations that she had been victimized by him countless times. And she wasn't the only victim of Berg's perversions. Techi was often sexualized by Berg publicly, with Berg having stories made and illustrated depicting his fantasies about her when she was just a child. On top of this, numerous people within the group also claimed that she had been outright assaulted by the hands of Berg, as well as many others in the group.
And look at our pretty girls today. You're dressed in such nice dresses and your hair looks so nice. Yes, you look so pretty for all the children that are watching today.
The context of who these characters are makes this already disturbing show that much more sickening. But of all of the horrible stories to come from the real-life characters of Life with Grandpa, there's one that is far and away the most horrific. The story of Davidito.
Gotta love how it keeps getting worse.
David is such a handsome boy, isn't he, girls? Would you like for David to share some more lessons?
Yes, Grandpa.
Are you all ready? Okay, David, you have the floor.
His real name was Ricky Rodriguez, and as a baby, he was taken in as Berg's son following Maria conceiving him with a man after a night of flirty fishing. And being David's first son, he was given the nickname Davidito. As for David Berg, he viewed this child as essentially a messiah. He began telling his followers that Davidito would one day save them from the apocalypse, causing Davidito to become a celebrity within the group, and worshipped as a religious figure when he was just a baby. Which explains why he was given so much airtime during Life with Grandpa, and why he was constantly being showered with gifts.
We want to give you a little surprise because you were such a good witness.
And for David and Karen, they wanted Davidito's life and childhood to be a guide for all members of the group, as they raised him in what they believed to be the perfect manner for a godly household. And so the couple and several other contributors documented the way he was raised, with daily journal entries that were published as weekly newsletters, and eventually turned into one massive book titled The Story of Davidito. And the family truly believed that this over 700-page book was the ultimate guide for parenting and showed the only proper way to raise a child. Though what it actually showed was just how badly Davidito was being abused. Davidito is described laying next to his nude nannies, witnessing orgies involving his own mother, and being touched sexually by the adults around him, with these examples being presented through not only written stories, but actual photographs, with the adults involved having their faces removed and drawings placed over the top of them in order to hide their identities. The book was not only promoting sexual acts with children, but it was outright showing it, and showing it happen to Davidito. And because of this, we have a daily journal entry of all the abuse that this child suffered, starting when he was an infant. Despite all the heinous acts that had been going on with the family, they had up until this point gone virtually unchecked by the public eye. But the story of Davidito would prove to be the first domino to fall, as the book leaked to the press.
The cult Children of God, founded by Moses David Berg, he reportedly sanctioned sex among children.
This immediately became a news story all across the world, and it began shining a light on the family and its twisted beliefs. But despite all the constant news coverage and the story of Davidito being tangible proof of the cult's horrible practices, there was still essentially nothing done to stop them, as very few arrests were ever made as a result, and even fewer resulted in convictions. So nothing was ever done to help Davidito. And so during his entire childhood and his early adult years, he stayed with the group. Though the older he got, the more he began to see the family for what they really were, and the constant pain that he was experiencing eventually made him want to just run away from it all. And so, in 1999, that's exactly what he did, fleeing to the United States in the hopes of starting a new life. Though this was easier said than done, and no amount of distance was enough to keep him away from his tortured past. At one point during his time in the United States, Ricky actually opened up about the struggles he was experiencing on a website made for survivors of the family. And there, he documented just how bad things really were for him and several others behind the scenes, living with Berg, appropriately titling the post, Life with Grandpa. It was apparent that he was haunted by this life that he tried to escape, as the trauma was an everyday cycle of hell, and he just couldn't take it anymore.
Do you know that sometimes the Lord likes to test our faith, to teach us patience, and to really make us pray? This is just what happened to me once.
Well, hey everyone. I want people to know that even though some of the things that I'm going to try to do are rather shocking and maybe not right in a lot of people's books, I want to explain some of the reasons behind it.
On January 7th, 2005, Ricky Rodriguez set up a video camera in his apartment and expressed his desire to kill his mother and other leaders of the group for all the dreadful things that they had done not only to him, but to all the other children, with his hope being that this would finally bring down the family once and for all.
My goal is to get those sick bucks, Ma and Peter, and, then I can go to the next life knowing that, that I made a difference.
With Ricky going as far as to show off the various ways that he planned on torturing them.
I'm gonna have to make do. I got my drill here.
Ricky
lots of fucking duct tape.
God knows, he hears, he cares.
He ain't playing no
He
games,
loves
man.
his girls and boys. He gives
Almost think
his very
we should just let him do it
best to
too.
those who let him choose the toys.
I would turn the other cheek.
By this point, David Berg had been dead for years, though the family carried on, with his mother, Karen Zerby, assuming full control, which explains why she was the primary target. And much like Berg, Karen spent most of her life in hiding, with Ricky being unable to track her down, though he was able to find Angela Smith, one of the nannies responsible for raising him, as well as one of his most prominent abusers, as she was even shown in the story of Davidito assaulting him.
Oh, of course.
At this point, Ricky was exhausted, and Angela was his last shot at getting intel to help him find his mother and finally carry through on his plans. And so, he invited her over for dinner, under the guise of rejoining the group.
I went home that night and tried to wait patiently for the next day. But the Lord still had more lessons that he wanted to teach me. This is what happened.
Which one's gonna die, though? Is he gonna get her or is she gonna get him? That's the question.
Before Ricky could even get the information he was looking for, something in him snapped, and midway through their conversation, Ricky grabbed a knife and stabbed Karen in the arm, and then slit her throat. He fled the area that night, driving for hours until he reached California, the place that years before David Berg had started the family. There, he called his ex-wife, professing to everything he did, saying that he did it mainly for his sister Techi, but he felt no better. In fact, he felt worse. And even looking back at the video, it's very obvious that this was something that Ricky didn't truly want to do, and instead he felt like he had to do it, to avenge everyone that the family had hurt.
I'm not trained. I don't know how to fucking do this. I don't even want to fucking do this. God damn it.
And it was too late to take back what he did. And so he stopped the car in a dark parking lot, sat there for a moment thinking about everything that had happened during his painful life, and ended his suffering once and for all.
Yeah, damn it, yeah.
No way, that's what these fuckers have done to us. They didn't actually, grab a knife and cut us up, but, man, they sure fucked up our brains. That's the way it was at Grandpa and Mama's house. Literally or figuratively, they're going down. So, with that happy thought, I shall leave you.
A happy thought. A happy thought.
Ricky Rodriguez's death was devastating for the community of survivors of the family, and it caused shockwaves all throughout the family itself, as his final video was plastered all over the news. And though it didn't happen in the way he expected it or wanted it to, Ricky's life and death undoubtedly contributed to the decline of the family, and helped diminish the cycle of abuse within the group. Starting from the story of Davidito, the public pressure forced Berg to outlaw the widespread abuse that he once preached. And though it is believed that it never really came to an end, it was at the very least significantly reduced. And by the time the news began to cover Ricky's death, it proved to be the final wake-up call for many still within the group, as they finally began to see through the facade that had once controlled their lives.
Not the young, not the kids, but like all the adults.
When we pray, things will happen and things will be different.
It's difficult to watch any of Life with Grandpa, knowing its history, its purpose, and the real people that it was inspired by. Though as soon as the media began taking notice of the cult, many members were made to purge the media that was sent to them that may be considered incriminating. And as a result, it appears that most of Life with Grandpa is missing to this day, and potentially destroyed forever. Currently, only 4 episodes have been recovered, and it's not even known how many more were released, or even what year the show started or ended. But considering how closely the show mirrored the book, it's possible that these potentially missing and destroyed episodes are much worse than the ones we have today. But despite not knowing the full extent of the show, it's clear that Life with Grandpa and the countless other programs that the family made did exactly what they wanted them to. They brainwashed an entire generation of the cult's children, and the effects were devastating.
Yeah, they were. Jesus
But they become extremely agitated when we ask them about Moses David Berg's teachings on sex.
My Little Fish. Now, your father described that as a routine publication.
They're not having sex, they're just kissing and hugging in bed. That's not sex.
If you show it to other people, they don't understand. That stuff's not supposed to be publicized. So many people think sex is wrong. So many people hate us. But we just telling them the truth. We're just telling them it's not wrong. We're just telling them that there's nothing wrong with it. And here come these publicizers showing them to everybody.
Brainwashing.
Between the strange content from the program itself, its obvious attempts at indoctrinating kids into a cult that was only ever going to harm them, the real-life people behind the characters, and the fact that this propaganda was so effective, I have no doubt that Life with Grandpa is the darkest children's show that I've ever come across.
Yeah, probably.
Though shockingly, there's somehow one more layer to the story that makes this program even more disturbing.
The icing on the cake, right? You know?
And now,
It's
here's
your boy,
the
man.
exciting ending to this story.
One thing that we haven't discussed yet is who was actually the one behind the creation of the show. There's no doubt that it's David Berg's stories and was probably done at his request, but who was the one actually making it? Well, unfortunately, most of the people who worked on the show have their identities hidden by only using their first names, or even using straight-up aliases.
Names.
So
Yeah,
we
I
can
wouldn't
hardly
even.
find any information on any of
First
them,
name?
with the exception of one.
I was like, nah, I'm
Peter
good.
Puppet.
Yeah,
Peter
no.
Puppet was sort of a celebrity within the group, being responsible for numerous puppet shows,
There are
including
no
one called
names
The Lovettes.
that are actually real, involved in any way.
Which was actually far more popular
for that,
than
I mean,
Grandpa,
if they're
and
smart
was
at all.
supposedly broadcast on TV in the Philippines, with the show being
What?
a disturbing rabbit hole in its own right.
Would you like to hear a story?
My God.
Well,
the
then let's go see
Philippines,
Grandpa in the
I
garden.
guess they seem to have some pull down there if they had their Philippines.
So nice of you.
They're in jail, their prison camp or whatever.
But
There.
Peter Puppet owned this
By the
group and was in charge of the Lovettes team, and coincidentally, the Lovettes just so happened to be credited as the producers of Life with Grandpa. So Peter Puppet was, at the very least, one of the contributing creators of the show. And he also seems to be the one in charge of performing the actual musical numbers on the show, as they featured puppets that belonged to Peter and the Lovettes team, with these segments interestingly being credited to an unknown man named Peter Pioneer.
Oh, there's a name.
Beautiful song from Peter Pioneer.
It's not a concrete link, but it's clear that Peter Puppet had a role in the show's creation, and helped push the family's disturbed ideology onto hundreds of kids across the globe. But during the creation of Life with Grandpa, it seems his own beliefs were being tested. In the beginning of the video, we saw an example of the family's view on doctors.
Surely a doctor would have stitched it, but our God is still a God of miracles. Praise the Lord.
Licking on
This
them.
sentiment is really common in the family,
Licking
as
on
Berg outright
motherfuckers.
forbade any medicine or surgeries of any kind, instead preaching that miracles from God were the only way to heal. And because of this, many members of the family with chronic ailments or fatal illnesses were basically left to die. And one of those left suffering was Peter Puppet. His life is almost entirely a mystery, as he lived in hiding in one of the family's compounds, but according to some of the group's members, one day he noticed something in his neck, a small lump, and over the next few weeks and months it began to slowly get bigger and bigger, to the point that Peter had to go visit a doctor in order to see what was wrong. And it was there he learned that inside of him was an aggressive tumor that was only going to get larger. The good news was the tumor was actually operable and could be removed with little risk to his life, but the bad news was surgeries were against the family's beliefs, and so he turned it down, instead opting to go back to the compound to pray the tumor away with the other members.
I'm good.
This, however, never happened. Instead, the mass began to grow at an even faster rate, to the point that those around him could notice it, eventually leading to Peter hiding away in his room, away from the others, not wanting to be seen. However, at some point during his struggle, a photograph was taken, showing the entire compound he was living with. And in the background, we see Peter,
Holy crap.
whose neck is impossibly large. From here, it said that Peter began to beg the family to take him to get the surgery, as the tumor was quite literally suffocating him slowly, turning him against the very beliefs that he once forced upon so many children over the years. But the family forbade it, insisting that he wait for a miracle that was never going to come. With nowhere else to turn, Peter Puppet supposedly ended his own life shortly after this photograph was taken, adding the final pillar of context to Life with Grandpa, a program that can only be described as the darkest children's show ever created.
We've got to go now. Let's wave bye-bye, kids. God bless you. Come on, say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye forever, please and thank you.
Man.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this shit.
Wait, what is that? What is this?
Some more shit at the end. You gotta read though.
Died of natural causes, 94. Never.
Willing to take but a
Continues the rest of the legacy. Still leading to this day. I love it. She has not been seen since 2010.
But to my father and home. Back to my
Costa Rica, working with the seeds of oh jeez. Oh, hopefully she's doing good then.
Back to my
Severed ties, ouch.
and home. Why should I perish in dark despair? Here where there's no one to help nor care. When there is shelter and food to spare, I will arise and go.
The worst, man. The absolute worst.
Many victims of Jesus.
To be called his son, hoping my father his child will own. I must arise.
I'll be right back.
Damn, that is one of the more crazier ones I've ever seen.
That come to me, faces of loved ones again.
You sit in a small boat in the middle of a small lake. The fishing has been good today. You've already caught 3 trout, and your line is out looking to snag another. But then, you smell it. The dreadfully familiar smell of sulfur. It's unmistakable. You don't even have to look down at the hairs bristling on your arms to know what's happening, and that there's no time to get to shore before it comes. All you can do now is accept your demise. The agonizing pain of the flesh underneath your skin being cooked as hundreds of millions of volts of electricity rip through your body. Barely a second later, you're left with hair and clothes burnt to ash and a body throbbing with pain. But despite the fact that you're still alive being what most would consider a miracle, you don't feel relief or gratitude towards your good fortune. Just anger, frustration, and despair. This wasn't your first time being struck by lightning. It wasn't the second, the third, fourth, fifth, or even sixth. It was the 7th. At this point, it seems as though you were cursed to live out a miserable existence looking to the sky in constant fear of your next dance with death. And while each one is more painful than the last, it seems nothing, not even the bear that is currently waiting to attack you once you get back to shore, can kill you. But everyone has a death that is inevitable. And yours is somehow even more unexpected and inexplicable than the life that preceded it.
Sounds like a storm is coming, bro.
Don't you mean a storm is brewing?
Ugh, you're impossible to talk to sometimes. You know what? It's a dark and stormy night. There, I did it too.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your War Thunder.
War Thunder?
This video's sponsor. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle warfare game ever made. Now available as dual components. Battling is a highly immersive experience with the incredible 4K resolution graphics, authentic sound effects, and beautiful music.
Oh wait, this is cool. Your vehicles in the game suffer actual damage to their parts and crew. Like look at this X-ray view that shows you where your vehicle gets hit in the heat of battle. And fire! Ha ha!
My favorite thing in War Thunder is the sheer amount of customization options, right down to the historically accurate camouflages and insignias, giving you the freedom to replicate an iconic wartime vehicle or craft a distinctive look of your own. As a bonus for starting War Thunder by clicking our link, new players and those returning after a 6-month break on PC and consoles will receive a generous free bonus pack. This limited time only pack includes multiple premium vehicles, a premium account, an exclusive 3D decorator for your vehicles, and much more.
Wow, free bonus pack? What? Where'd you come from?
I'm quick as lightning, just like you should be, because this offer won't last forever. So click the links in our description and start playing War Thunder for free on mobile, PC, PlayStation, and Xbox today.
Calm down, dude. There it is.
Warning, electrical storm inbound. Death imminent.
We're gonna die?
Lightning flashes produce approximately 300 million volts of electricity, able to melt metal with temperatures 3 times those of the sun's surface, and killing on average 20 humans a year in the US alone.
We're gonna die!
More importantly, I'm going to fry. If lightning strikes nearby, it has the potential of creating an electromagnetic pulse that could cause a voltage spike through this building's electrical system, short-circuiting my internal components and resulting in irreparable damage.
Oh my god, Brew, you killed Howard!
Don't worry, he's
killed Howard, man.
Asleep, I
So
guess,
apparently
would be
this
the
guy he
closest
was
human
talking
equivalent?
about, the boat
He's
fishing,
right. A
had
nearby
been struck
lightning
by
strike
lightning
could fry your
7
circuits.
times.
And while using surge protectors can help prevent
Bro.
damage from your average everyday
The
power
hell?
surge, When we're dealing with
I don't know if I ever go outside in the rain again.
a surefire way of protecting your devices is by unplugging them from the wall.
Right?
Hey, but what about us?
Oh, the lightning can't get us in here. As long as you stay away from the windows, there is no safer place to be than indoors. And besides, even though being struck by lightning can cause heart attacks, severe damage to the nervous system, and in many cases,
sounds
death,
good. Sounds great.
it doesn't always.
Sounds
For
good.
example, have you ever heard of the human lightning rod?
No,
What
who's
is
that?
some
Dude,
superhero with lightning powers?
I cannot stay stretched out, bro. Fuck.
Roy Sullivan was a member of the Fire
Get
Patrol
up and
Squad at
stretch.
Shenandoah National Park.
I
and
have
one
it
of the top
twice.
Park Rangers in Virginia. In April of 1942, a heavy storm rolled in as Roy was on duty in the Miller's Head Lookout Tower.
It's the only way to do it.
The
is
weather
to
got
stand
really
up.
bad, and he was all by himself. Lightning struck the newly built tower 7 or 8 times, setting it on fire. Out of sheer
You ever do it sitting, like rotate? You ever do it and like rotate your back? You're like, oh, that might be too far.
A burning building.
Let me go
He got a
back.
few feet away from the tower when blam! Lightning hit him, seared through his leg,
More
and
than
escaped
that,
out of
like
a
that,
hole
right?
that had burned in his shoe.
Man, was he okay?
He was left with scorch marks on his leg and lost the nail of his big toe as a result.
Why didn't he just go and hide under a tree or something?
Actually, that
Yeah,
would
go
have been
hide under.
worse.
Yeah.
According to the
Those
stats,
trees
the
might get
second
hit.
most common way for people to get struck by lightning is by standing beneath a tree. If you study the
Yeah.
trajectory of lightning, you'll notice it is attracted to the tallest object in the area. So
often
in
trees.
open places, trees are the natural targets.
Yeah? Ain't that a good thing? The trees will distract the lightning from hitting us.
Well, lightning isn't just looking for the quickest path to the ground, but also the easiest. A tree may be struck because it's tall and a better conductor of electricity than air, but as the crackling lightning travels down the tree, it may jump to a nearby human whose body is a far better conductor than wood.
sounds awful.
And even if the
That
lightning
sounds
doesn't
awful.
jump and stays in the tree for the rest of its journey to the ground, it doesn't stop there.
Doesn't it
The
start a
current
fire,
will
like,
actually
what
radiate
kind of
outwards from the base, electrocuting anyone standing near the struck tree.
Well,
So
damn.
if we stand under a tree, we might avoid getting wet, but there is a probability that we might get fried.
Great.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
It's better
it.
than wet, right?
Doomed if we're outside during a lightning storm?
Not exactly. There are other covers you can look for, like a car.
no.
The metal body of a vehicle normally protects people from lightning strikes. It is actually similar to a Faraday cage, where it channels all the electrical current from the metal top to the ground, keeping the car occupant safe. Unfortunately for Roy, who survived being struck by lightning, even that didn't work the next time around. It happened 27 years after he was first hit by lightning. It was 1969, and Roy had just gotten engaged to an Augusta County girl named Patricia.
Attaboy, Roy.
Driving a parked truck down a mountain road, the
way to
ranger
get your girl.
apprehensively looked at the stormy sky, with his head slightly out the side window to check for any signs if there was anything electric being brewed.
Oh no.
By the time he noticed the bolt of lightning,
It's too late. Yeah, I mean, you're not getting out. You're not dodging that.
off some trees.
You ain't dodging lightning.
Window of Roy's truck.
It deflected off of the tree.
He was left with a battered wrist and burned eyebrows. Any hair
Damn,
not
bro,
protected
that's
by his hat
crazy.
was also burned off.
Oh,
Deflection,
man.
bro.
Lightning
Caught
literally got
ricochet.
into his head. What happened to the truck?
By some accounts, the truck veered off the road and slowed just in time to stop at the edge of a cliff.
Jeez.
Oh,
This guy has to be the luckiest unlucky guy of all time.
And we've only scratched the surface.
At this point, he should really start thinking about leaving the outdoor work and staying at home.
That's exactly where he was, just a year later, when he got struck by lightning a third time. During the early summer
Bro,
of 1970,
man.
Roy and his
Roy.
family were living in a house
Roy.
on the
Roy.
western fringe of the park.
Can't leave the house when
While
it's
Roy
even.
was
If it
relaxing
says there's rain in the
lightning
forecast,
suddenly erupted from
any
the sky,
percent,
almost
5%,
bursting
even
with excitement
1%,
to meet its old
stay
friend.
in, bro. You see
It
it.
struck a power transformer
Any
near the
dark
trailer,
clouds in the
deflecting
sky,
into
you just
Roy's
gotta
shoulder
abort
and
go
sending
home.
him flying into the air.
Bro,
Damn.
don't they say lightning never strikes the same place twice? Then how come it's hit this guy thrice?
Because he's
That's
in a different
actually-
place every time.
According to the Weather Network, the chances of lightning striking the
True.
same place twice are high. Lightning can and often will hit the same spot multiple times.
Thought that was
Yeah,
easy.
well, it sure as hell seems to be able to keep tabs on Roy. Like,
Well,
come on.
yeah, I mean, there's things like
follow
lightning
him?
rods that are meant to like
Factually
attract lightning, so I would assume that it can.
They
It's
had a
place.
vendetta
Struck by
against my
lightning,
boy. Honestly.
They did.
See, there was a
It
pattern.
did. He
The
must have
lightning
done
seemed
something,
to be
bro.
moving
Yeah.
closer and closer to his home. But to say it was actually following him, I believe that's mere speculation. Speaking of speculation, since Strike 3 happened around the time he and Patricia had their third child, the park rangers at Shenandoah would make fun of him, saying, "Every time lightning strikes you, you have another baby."
Oh God!
And
Does he have
1
7
month
kids?
after that, Patricia was also struck by
Patricia
lightning
got struck
standing
too?
in their front yard.
His wife?
So the people
The
around
whole
him were getting
family?
dinged as well.
Yes, Roy once
they
spoke on
superheroes?
Twitter saying,
They might be.
"People avoid me. I was walking with the chief ranger one day, and lightning struck way off, and he said, 'I'll see you later.'"
See you, Roy.
Sadly,
I'm out, bud.
it only got worse.
I'll see you when it's
So
done
much
raining.
worse that a restaurant on Loft Mountain banned Roy's entry on overcast days.
James, I can't catch a
If it's
break.
cloudy,
Seems
he
like
can't
it.
even go
With
get
the
a
sun
burger,
surging
bro.
Electricity, not by a law. In the spring of
That's
1940,
crazy.
Sit his ass
began
down.
arriving at the
Roy, you
Shenandoah
better
National
go
Campground.
home, Roy.
Known for
Go
its
home.
breathtaking views, Roy was stationed in a small guardhouse
That's kinda
atop
funny.
Loft Mountain. The weather
Why
was
would you
clear
put him
that
on
day,
top of a mountain?
Until suddenly, it wasn't.
Until
He looked
suddenly
up
it
to see
wasn't.
dense clouds forming around him, and then a fuse box inside the guardhouse exploded. The blast overpressure knocked Roy down. He saw flames dancing
Damn,
around
Roy.
inside the station, his ears ringing. A few painful seconds later, he heard something sizzling. His hair was on fire.
Oh shit,
He
Roy.
tried to smother the flames with his jacket. When that didn't work, he rushed to the restroom, but could not fit under the water tap, so he used a wet towel instead. Later, he drove to Waynesboro Community Hospital to get his burns checked out.
4 times? This is getting ridiculous. There's got to be something spooky about him.
After that fourth strike,
Out of bounds.
Roy was feeling the same. In an interview, he said, "I have tried to lead a good life. I have never been a fearful man, but I have to tell you the truth. When I hear thunder now,
I'm scared than a motherfucker."
It seems he suffered from what the psychologists now label as anticipatory anxiety. It's when you have fear and worry about bad things that could happen.
I mean,
There are even rumors that Roy had lightning rods on his 4-poster bed.
I might
For
do it
months,
too.
Whenever he was caught in a storm
I might
while
do it
driving
too.
his truck, he would pull over and
4
lie down on the
times,
front
man.
seat until the storm passed.
He would lay
He also
down
began
in
to
the
believe
front
that he would
seat.
somehow
If it
attract
happened
lightning even if he
3
stood in a crowd of
times
people.
to you, I
and
think
carried a
you-
bucket of
you-
water with him in case his hair was set on
You
fire.
gotta take some sort of precaution.
And though
right?
he had become a global sensation, even making it into the 1972 edition of
That's
the Guinness
crazy.
Book of World Records.
I bet, yeah,
as the
struck by
only
lightning
person struck by
975
lightning
million
4
times. Yeah, right?
He was not a happy man. There was a deep-seated fear.
Yeah, and apparently he's got 3 more to come.
Burnt
Jimmy.
brown.
From what the guy said at the beginning,
Statistical point of
7.
view, the chances
7
of getting
times.
struck by lightning in a given year are
7.
less than 1 in a million.
We're just over halfway. We're just over halfway there.
Less.
Yet, man, if I got struck by lightning 7 times and I wasn't an X-Men by the end of it, bro, I would be.
Just before it strikes, he
I'd be
said,
pissed.
"I smell a certain
I got no powers.
like sulfur,
Nothing.
and my hair bristles all over. That's the signal. In about 2
Oh, he can
seconds,
tell?
no longer than 3, it hits. Too late to hide." He never understood why it hit him so many times, though. I don't believe God
He
is
says
after
he
me.
can kind of tell.
If he was, the first bolt of lightning would have been enough. Best I can
Says
figure
it
is
smells
that I
like
have some
my hair
chemicals,
stands
some
and it
minerals
smells
in
like
my
sulfur.
body
He says,
that
"Get down!
I just wish I knew.
Get inside, brother!"
What if it was something he was wearing? Like a piece of metal?
He did have a metal plate put in his right ankle after he broke it when he was younger. It would often get hot after the lightning hit,
I bet.
as Roy stated in his interview. But it is unlikely that a small piece of metal like this would be a deciding factor as to where lightning strikes. Regardless, it is rather counter-scientific to believe that certain people might attract lightning more than others. Every year, approximately 40 million lightning strikes occur in the United States. And while the average probability of being directly hit by lightning is statistically low, living and working outdoors in an environment prone to thunderstorms, as he did, obviously skews the probability. How one behaves during a lightning storm also influences the probability. And if you, like Roy, are badly traumatized by lightning, chances are you might actually put yourself in more danger by how you act more than anything else. Which actually brings me to his next unfortunate encounter. Fear gripped Roy when thick clouds barreled in one day during the summer of '73. He got in his car and zoomed past the storm clouds. He drove at top speed until he had outrun the brewing storm. With no dark clouds overhead, he thought he was safe. Unfortunately, he was sorely mistaken. According to weather officials, lightning often strikes more than 3 miles from the center of a thunderstorm, far outside the rain or dark clouds. Bolts from the blue
We're learning right
even
now, dude.
strike
We're learning.
10 to 15 miles from the storm.
Oh, so he's putting himself in prime position to get zapped again.
What's worse is that when he thought he'd outrun the storm clouds, he got out of his car to watch the storm.
Oh man, terrible idea.
Yup. As a result, Roy was struck by
Roy!
lightning for the 5th time.
Roy!
Afterward, he stated that he actually saw the bolt shoot out of the cloud, aiming
He
right
looked
for
right
him.
at the motherfucker.
This
He saw
time,
God.
It was
Hey,
a
buddy.
headshot
Back
that
out.
sent him
Caught you.
pendulating. Once again,
Caught you
his
lacking.
hair was set on fire. But unlike the last few times, he was well prepared. He grabbed the bucket of water that he always kept nearby and poured it all over his head.
He's got a
Okay,
bucket
so
by
I
him.
get that most of the time lightning
just
strikes
got a
aren't
bucket.
fatal and all.
There's all
but at
times there's
this
a bucket
point,
of water.
all this lightning must have done
Eh.
something to him other
boy
than
wasn't
just
playing.
make him paranoid.
All right, hey, man,
After that
smart.
fourth
Something
time,
about
he wasn't
Roy's
playing.
behavior changed.
Make sure you
after
got a
the
lid
strike.
for that bucket so
His
you can bring it
tone
with you
and way of
anywhere. You know what I'm
speaking
saying?
changed. The previously confused and terrified Roy appeared almost mystical.
Oh, really?
What do you mean?
Oh,
Well,
Roy, now that
Roy
5
started
times is
talking
the
about
lucky
the
one.
cosmic ramifications of these brushes with death. He said he'd dreamed about this strike in advance, as well as Strike 4. He said it was between God and him, and nobody but they will know. He did,
Alright,
however,
damn, shit's getting
reveal that
deep.
God saved me
Shit's
for a
getting
good
deep, bro.
purpose. Like
Yeah.
all mystics, he remained about as abstract as a Jackson Pollock painting.
Yeah, that sounds
I
about
might
right.
be going out on a limb here, but do you think there's a slight chance that all those
Fried
lightning
his
strikes to the
brain.
head could have done something to his
Yeah,
brain?
fried him a
Well,
little
there
bit.
is a case back in 1994 in Albany. A 42-year-old doctor named Tony Cisoria was struck by lightning, and his heart stopped beating. He was found unconscious with the usual signs of a lightning strike victim. His face, which was the point of entry, and his left foot, which was the exit point for the current shooting through his body, were both seriously burned.
Well, did he survive?
He did, only because a nurse who was passing by saw what happened, stopped, and resuscitated him.
How was he afterward?
Well, according to the report, Tony had memory issues which persisted for a while, but gradually improved over time. In addition, he stopped practicing medicine and found a newfound interest, playing the piano. Not only did he buy a piano, he even taught himself how to play. He started hearing music in his head and composed melodies for the first time in his life. The Lightning Sonata was his first composition. The orthopedic surgeon actually ended up officially retiring and starting a new career as a classical musician.
How the hell did that happen?
Well, science is still looking into this sort of thing. According to a new study, lightning strikes can cause cell death, which may result in the release of neurotransmitters from the dying neurons. This rapid influx in the dopamine and serotonin levels rewires neurons, opening up new neural pathways previously inaccessible to the brain. The study is still in its early stages, so we can't draw any conclusions yet. What we do know is that on June 5th, 1976, while walking along Sawmill Shelter Trail, not far from where he had been hit the second time all those years ago, Roy Sullivan was taken out for the 6th time.
Why didn't he just move or something?
Well, as a matter of fact, he retired from Park Service 5 months later, and the family moved to a plot of land in an unincorporated town just north of Waynesboro called Dooms.
Really? He thought a place called Dooms.
Why not?
was the right place to
Why
end.
not? I
I
mean,
guess he didn't see the irony in the name, but
I mean, he's been through everything else.
time for a
He's-
new beginning at Dooms.
Like-
So the now understandably cautious Roy parked his house trailer and affixed the lightning rods to all 4 corners of it. But apparently, that was not enough. So he attached more rods to the TV antenna, electrical meter, and several trees in the surrounding area.
The guy should have put a lightning rod on his head, like that dude in Minecraft.
Yeah, but then it was like hit him
Mark
more
plan,
likely, wouldn't it?
There is no hiding. Despite Roy taking every safety precaution possible, he could not save himself from the record-breaking 7th strike. On June 25th, 1977, alone by a small body of fresh water, he was trout fishing when the odd smell of sulfur alerted his senses to the impending lightning strike. Even though the hair bristled on his arms, he did not panic this time. He knew his body was in contact with water, which highly increased the chances of getting struck by lightning, and that there was no time to get to shore. So he accepted his fate, and for the 7th time, Roy was struck by lightning. This one nearly took him out. Not only did his t-shirt, underwear, and hair get burned, but his chest and stomach got badly bruised, and he even lost hearing in one ear. Hurt, he pulled himself together and scampered to his car. There, to add to his misery, a hungry black bear snatched his lunch and the 3 trout that were on his line. Now, according to Roy, he did not let the bear walk free. At his wit's end, he grabbed the closest tree branch and smacked it in the snout. Later, he was taken to the hospital by Patricia.
Who?
Damn.
Roy or the bear?
The bear, baby.
Okay.
Roy won that fight.
Don't you
10
think
times
it's
out of
a
10.
little odd, extremely bizarre even, that his body didn't get completely fried after
If it was me or G and me, we'd be in the
most
hospital, but
instances,
not Roy.
It was just a flashover, meaning
I'd have
lightning
died
shot over the
first
skin,
time.
leaving vital organs unaffected.
So flashovers don't really hurt you?
Well, they're still extremely
This man
painful.
is
According to Roy, it's like being
Vince-
cooked inside your
Vince a
skin.
legend.
What if lightning gets inside the body?
It can blow your organs out.
Jeez, kind of like in those TV shows. You know, where they show the character's eyes getting smoked and ears bleeding.
That's not all fiction. The incoming pressure waves from lightning strikes might rupture the eardrums. One of the best pathologists in his field, Dr. Blumenthal, has narrowed down the lightning phenomenon to 4 main energy components: light, heat, electricity, and barotrauma. The victim's eyes might come in direct contact with the light component of lightning, which can damage the eyes. Studies show that victims with eye injuries post-lightning strikes usually develop cataracts. Dr. Blumenthal believes the packed protein molecules of the lens are most affected by the intensity of the light.
Okay, so what about the other 3 components?
The heat component may burn clothing or skin, and the electrical component may cause Lichtenberg figures.
Like in what now?
Lichtenberg figures. That sounds...
Vein-like patterns temporarily form on the skin when high-voltage electricity passes through
that's
dilated
kinda cool.
blood capillaries. However, it seems
Sure,
as though
it
with
didn't,
most
like, feel
Lichtenberg
very cool,
cases, the
obviously.
markings disappear within a couple of days.
Oh,
Okay,
God!
that's good.
The ear's
Whoa.
bleeding in this one.
That's the barotrauma effect. According to Dr. Blumenthal, the barotrauma component is mainly responsible for any ear injury. It causes audiovestibular abnormalities in lightning victims and can even cause total hearing loss.
After seeing all this, you're really asking me to believe that Roy survived 7
Apparently,
lightning strikes?
Roy's a
How'd he
goon.
die in the end anyway? Was
The
it
bear
lightning
was
strike
crying,
that
but
got
not
him?
Roy.
Well, on September 28th, 1983, Captain Glenn P. Lloyd of the
Glenn
Augusta County
P.
Sheriff's Department
Lloyd.
officially announced Roy's death. And
Dog.
oddly enough, it was not from a lightning strike. The man who had survived 7 bolts of lightning was taken out by a single gunshot wound, according to the authorities.
I mean,
the autopsy report
well,
revealed a .22 caliber handgun shot wound on the right temple. And although the sheriff's department remained tight-lipped on the circumstances surrounding Roy's death, Patricia reportedly declared it was self-inflicted. At 9 in the morning, the Waynesboro First Aid Squad had transported Roy to the morgue. He was pronounced dead on arrival, and his report revealed that he was dead for several hours before he was brought in. Conspiracists claim the death was no accident. They believe Pat and Roy were not in a happy marriage. Roy's younger sister, Ruth, even goes as far as suspecting Pat had a hand in Roy's passing.
Damn, Pat, you dirty.
Well, where was Pat when the shooting was taking place?
According to Pat,
Damn,
it was around 3 in the morning. She was lying on the bed, right next
Right
to
next to him?
Right next to him.
Yes, she was asleep.
And she didn't hear a gun go off right next to her head?
Several reports suggest the bullet was shot through a pillow. Also, Pat was believed to be a sound sleeper.
A sound sleeper?
As hard as it is to
bullet
believe
in the
Roy's survival
room?
stories, his death story leaves us with
Outside,
question
baby,
marks
in
than
the
ever.
room?
It's tragic how a man who had survived 7 lightning strikes and fought a bear succumbed to a gunshot wound. His death, nevertheless, does not diminish his
the
legendary
head,
status.
though.
To this day,
I
he's
mean-
the only person to ever survive being struck by lightning 7 times.
Hey, I think the storm's over.
I think you're right.
Hey, Howard, how was your nap?
I was not asleep.
Oh, well, Bruce said that...
Have you ever ceased to exist?
No.
Then you cannot understand what being turned off feels like. All I can tell you is that the worst part is wishing that they'd never turned you back on.
Thanks again for War Thunder for sponsoring the video. Check out the game on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile via the links in our description.
That was a lot.
New and
What just
returning users who
happened?
haven't played in 6 months also get a massive bonus pack on
Not
PC
okay
and
with what just
console.
happened.
And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel to help us keep making more. Like this one, about all the people who have died terrible deaths after playing with a $20 toy.
Bourbon.